Say hello. Say hello. Let's see. Okay. I think probably I have to stand here only. Okay, guys, we'll start. Huh? JIT. What is JIT? Come on, guys. We'll catch later. What is JIT? What is JIT? Just in time. Okay, you know that, but still you don't want to say. You think this guy will catch something somewhere. Okay, today's the agenda is 2. 1, we have to complete recruitment and selection. 2, we have to complete training and development. Okay, now coming into recruitment and selection, what do you know about recruitment selection? What do you know, what you want to know? First of all, what do you mean by recruitment? What we have to learn next 10 minutes, what do you mean by recruitment? What do you mean by effective recruitment? If you say effective recruitment, what could be the outcomes? 3, what is the difference between recruitment and selection? These 3 things. 4, what is the difference between eligibility and selection? I'm repeating. These 4 concepts you have to get it clear. What do you mean by recruitment? It has to be effective recruitment. If it has to be effective recruitment, what is that you will see? I mean, you can't simply say effective recruitment without seeing a concrete result of it. And what is the difference between recruitment, eligibility, and selection? How companies like Apple and Google and all, they do all the 3 activities. This is what we'll cover it up today. Now, coming to recruitment, what is recruitment? And today I thought I'll tell you, I talked to the other section also, that I want to teach you slightly different method today. Like we in the research, when we do a PhD thesis, we'll work it in this style. For example, understanding or evaluating the variables relating to effective recruitment selection. That could be a PhD topic. Evaluating the variables relating to effective recruitment and selection. Are you getting my point? Online students, are you hearing me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I'll just try and give. You don't have to get carried away with it. I thought just you also have a little flavor about how, suppose you have to take a PhD or some dissertation. How will you take it? So we'll try and teach in that mode, right? Okay. Again, and I'm taking it to evaluating the variables relating to the effective recruitment selection. Each word matters. We use the word effective recruitment selection. Effective recruitment selection becomes your output. In research terminology, we call it independent variable. You have to achieve that. Effective recruitment and selection is an independent variable you have to achieve. Now, to achieve that, what all steps you have to do to achieve that? And before that, you have to define what do you mean by effective. What do you mean by effective recruitment and selection? Can you tell me, all of you? All of you gone through, you are recruiting or you have been recruited, and this is very well known to all of you, recruitment. What do you mean by recruitment? What do you mean by effective recruitment? Come on, list down some few points.
So recruitment is the process of hiring a candidate for a specific job role.
He says recruitment is the mic is not working, etc. He says recruitment is a process of hiring. Come on, go ahead.
Yeah, hiring candidates for a specific job role.
Hiring candidates for a specific job. Okay. Now we'll start with the definition of recruitment, right? Then we'll go to the effectiveness of recruitment. As I said, only 5-6 points you learn, more than enough. And what he says, recruitment is the process of collecting the candidate for a job, which is a too broad and general kind of things. I want what is recruitment? If that is the thing, then what is selection? If that is the thing, what is eligibility? I'm always here to confuse you guys, nah? So then what is recruitment? Take a particular position. Which position you take? Take any company. Suppose TCS want to recruit some, what kind of post? Say, for example, customer care managers. That's the position, clear? Now here, how will you explain recruitment? How will you explain eligibility? How will you explain selection? Let's take it practically. So in that process, we'll control recruitment. TCS wants to hire some customer care managers. They've already come to the conclusion that we need 10 positions to be posted in Hyderabad, Delhi, Bangalore, and all these places. This has come from the corporate planning. Now tell me, how do you talk about recruitment in this concept? Where recruitment starts, where recruitment ends. Where eligibility starts, now I'm giving a clue for you. You'll be able to think. Where eligibility starts, where eligibility ends. Where selection starts, where selection ends. Okay. Now, what are the best practices for recruitment? What are the best practices for eligibility shortlisting? What are the best practices for selection? This is one approach. Like, let's try and keep our PhD method. As I told you, again, let me go back to that. Evaluating the variables relating to the selection of customer care executive of TCS. This one. So first of all, recruitment means, come on. What do you mean by recruitment? Come on. He said recruitment means hiring process. That's a broader general area. Come on. You offline students, what do you mean by recruitment?
Recruitment is acquiring the right talent.
No, what you are trying to say is that there will be an actually, plan. This many people, this many positions to be recruited. This is what you are trying to say, or something else? Yeah.
Individual position should have this category.
Okay. Yeah, this is what now we are all getting into. If you think seriously, then recruitment is what? Yeah. Recruitment is, I'll give you a hint. Yeah. Oh, the whole process is called recruitment. Okay. Then what is selection?
Acquiring the right talent.
Selection is acquiring the right talent. Or it's a part of this one?
It's a part of recruitment.
Selection is a part of recruitment?
Yes.
Could be. Okay. Okay. Now, now tell one more thing you tell me, then I'll come back. Then I'll talk to you for 10 minutes. You'll pick up. What do you mean by effective recruitment and selection? For example, TCS wanted 10 people to be recruited 2 months time by spending only 2 lakh rupees on recruitment expenses. Is it called effective recruitment selection? Let's talk more practically. Let's talk. Suppose TCS wants that 10 people to be recruited in 2 months time by not spending more than 5 lakh rupees, by using all the quality parameters of job analysis, job description, KRA, KP, all those methods used it, and then you select that. That could be one example of telling this is an effective recruitment selection. What else could be? And to tell you, the recruitment is starting plan. Starting means, for example, TCS has already come into the conclusion saying that 20 positions of customer care executive, 10 operation, 10 supply chain. This all already been, done by the corporate planning based on the business budget. Number 1 stage is done. Okay. Now the HR sub starts. HR was involved along with them when they are preparing what we said is manpower planning. In the manpower planning, based on your business, what business you are today, what business you are likely to expand, which new business you are going to go through, which new market you are going to through, based on all those things, how much budget profit you are exposing, which means new market. Based on all those things, your manpower planning is also rolled down. After the budget is frozen, after the corporate planning is frozen, your manpower planning is rolled down. In that, HR is a part of it. There are many people, maybe MD, all profits, and HR is also. So that plan, that dossier is given to the HR guys. Now this is the manpower planning. We need so many positions. Okay. Now this is a starting point for recruitment. Now what will you do in this point? Number 1, the top level corporate planning has rolled it down. Manpower planning is the outcome, which is an input for your entry point for your HR guy. HR got an entry of manpower planning dossier. This is what we wanted. Now HR has to get involved. So HR is going to start the recruitment. Now when I talk to recruitment, what HR will say? Based on that, put an advertisement or source candidate? Does it? No. You go back to the first class, link all the classes. Before HR, what it starts? For all the positions, they'll work out a job description, job analysis, KRA, KPI, all those things, even the recruitment stage. First stage is over. The second stage, when I talked about it, the recruitment stage, when it starts, HR will start with number 1, preparing a complete planning in terms of what is the job analysis, what's the job description, what is a KRA, what is a KPA, what is the must and wants of competencies, abilities, sources, extra skills needed. All those things HR has to work it out. That's number one job up. If say one recruitment, can anybody write here? Yeah. Do you have a pen? I don't know whether you have a pen or not. Okay. Suppose you say number one recruitment. 1.1 is preparing a complete documentation. You can write down where the recruitment starts. Online students, am I clear to you guys? Hello? Online
Yes, sir.
students. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Recruitment starts, as I told you, first manpower planning roll down. The manpower planning dossier has come to HR. That is an entry point for HR. Okay. Then HR starts with the recruitment. Let's say one. Number one is recruitment. In the number one, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, it goes like that. What is 1.1? You have a complete dossier. Job analysis, job description, KRA, job specification, KPI, everything has, because we are talking in terms of effective recruitment and selection. Okay. For effective recruitment selection, if you don't do it effectively, step by step, like you said, I'll go for a advertisement. Then probably it may not be professional, it may not be formal, it may not be consistent. When if you're not doing formal and consistent, it cannot give you the effective recruitment selection. Like you all know me very well. Everything we talk about matlab ke. Anything we do, we want efficiency, we want effectiveness, we want output, we want contribution, we want all those things. Be it a training, be it a recruitment, be it any damn thing. Okay, in that case, recruitment also, first job is he prepares 1.1, all the document is prepared. So that is a starting point of a recruitment. Okay. Now what is the second point, 1.2? Once you are clear, based on the KRA job description and job specification. What is job specification? Suppose job description says that HR manager should do all those kind of things. Job specification is a person specification. What is the qualification? What is the capability? All those things is done. Now 1.2 is you are going to attract and source candidates. The recruitment 1.2 could be attracting and sourcing candidates. Attracting means you go in, which are the ways you go? Maybe traditional digital way, maybe social media way, maybe through reference mode. So you try and collect through many sources, not one source. You go through many sources to attract and source candidates. So this is 1.2 part of a recruitment. Okay. Now this is done. How all you can attract and source candidates? Through digital, through social media, through LinkedIn, through referrals, through promotion within. Maybe out of 100 positions needed, maybe 20 positions could be promoted from within 80. So from within is also one source. Advertisement is one source. Digital is one. LinkedIn is one. Social media is one. Referral is one. So you name. Maybe we find, or maybe you go to the association. Suppose you want somebody, a particular chemical association, chemical engineer. You need somebody who contributed very well in chemical technology. You may not get. Every business has got an association. Chemical association or IT association or a retail association. You go and see that association. From there also you can source people. And what else? How many we talked about? Write down one by one. Traditional recruitment is advertisement, social media, LinkedIn, referral, okay. How many you written? 4. There are 2-3 things which you may not be aware, which becoming a very important sourcing of candidate. One is that you go to that particular NASCOM, for example. Go to NASCOM for IT related people. Go to some of the plastic association for getting a good candidates in that. That's one. The fourth one, the next one is like, I don't know how many of you heard about Google's advertisement has come recently, or quite often it comes. It says we are recruiting. We don't need your CV. Google's advertisement started coming this way. We are recruiting. We don't need your CV. What does it mean? That means they are headhunting. This is called headhunting. Headhunting could be various level, which we used to do in industry long back, but they have started this way. That's one source of candidate. It's not that you are advertised, you are going through social media, or going through association, you are going through referral and things. That's one way of getting the candidate. The other effective methods, there are many talented positions. People, they don't want to leave. Like for example, recently Tata, they wanted to appoint a chairman for that one. You know how much tough time they went. You think that they've gone through all this method of advertising and all? Have you seen Tata advertise for a chairman for Indian Airlines? No, right? How do you think the Tata could have gone through? How Tata could have sourced that candidate for the position of chairman of the Air India? And one guy was shortlisted and finally refused. He's not taking over, right? Now let's see how Tata could have gone through. Through paper advertisement? Will it make any sense? No, right? Through LinkedIn? To some extent, maybe 10%, 5%. Through referral? Yes, to a large extent referral. That position will take. Huh? Promotion within that could say. In this Tata's case, there is no promotion possible because they're all into steel and many other sector, hotel and other, but not into flying. So Tata's case is clear. It cannot be promotion within. So what else? You are all consultants. You are all HR experts, right? Tell me. I want you guys to tell me. I want applications for my chairman of Air India. Yeah, maybe that to some extent, right? You are right. Vistara, Air Asia, and all they have. Air Asia and Vistara there. And in here, referral could be a strong one, not the advertisement, digital or newspaper advertisement and all. LinkedIn could be to some extent, very less, but referral could be one very good one. What else? Huh? Headhunting. Headhunting means not that I'm recruiting. I don't want your CV. He has to go through like a research. That's what I wanted to take this in research method. Tata guys or HR guys have to, which are the good airlines in the world? Who are the good guys there? Study them, understand them. How are they really good? Do a lot. Reference checking is normally done after the selection, right? Now, how the paradigm of selection goes for around. Now, the reference checking, this case has to start beginning, also at the end. Through the reference checking, you will come to know which are the airlines that are globally doing very well. Who are the guys who are already occupying the position there? What's his background? He doesn't know. He doesn't want to apply for you. He's keen. He may be having some idea, but he doesn't want. So you are going to motivate that guy to apply. It is not that we were all used to Indians. No, we are all used to it. Whenever there's a job, I become a big guy. Oh, this guy will apply to me, come to me like I'm a big interviewer, right? This is what the way they conduct interview also. It looks like as if he Mr. Know All and you guys know nothing. That is the Indian scenario so far. I think now they let them make up. So now this kind of position, it's not like that way. Now you have to go and find out how many airlines doing very well. Delta, Global, Irish, Turkish, Indian, many airlines, not only in India. Then identify the guys who are already leading and then do thorough checking on that one. I mean, I can tell you one of the example. Maybe little diverse, and that all of you know Johnny Walker-Risky. At least the guys they know. No, you know Johnny Walker-Risky? You know or you don't know? So you'll get activated now. Listening to girls, see this Johnny Walker red level, black level, white level. It's supposed to be one of the top company. Okay, one guy retired, not retired. He was occupying a very good position. I don't mind sharing his name also. His name is Asif Padil. He's from Harvard MBA. He worked in Pepsi. He worked in McKinsey. Then he was also joint managing director of this one, Johnny Walker. So his background competencies are excellent. Somebody studied from Harvard. Somebody worked in Pepsi and worked in McKinsey, the best consultancy, and then. So that guy was, due to whatever reason, he was thrown out. So one of the Bangalore-based company, they wanted to take him. They've not understood that his compatibility will not come in compatibility up here. That's a different story. So now if it's the same way, if Tata has to take a person, so they have to do all those. So he said referral. Second could be headhunting. Third is that after headhunting, going and motivating and selling. Our company will be better, you come. You know that it's not that you are advertising, the guy will come. HR guy will become a hardcore marketing selling guy. So HR guys have to think seriously whether whatever. I'll tell you one more my own example. There's one guy called Sanjay Kumar Sinha, who's working with Ranbaxy, one of the best companies most of you heard about. He has been throughout that company from his after M-Pharma. He come up to the level of vice president. That time I was heading Cadila Pharma in Allahabad. My boss told me that we need Sanjay Kumar Sinha. He must have seen in association. That guy is coming with a new molecules. He is able to get US audit approval, this and that. Bhaskaran, you have to get that guy, Sanjay Kumar Sinha. He was already well settled. We worked 8 months to bring him to the campus to sit discussion with us. That first time, obviously he will say, no, I'm very well settled. I'm working for Unbaxi, one of the best company, 10, 12 years. I'm getting a good salary, good reputation, well settled. Well, like repeated kind of things. 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. After 7, 8 months, we could bring him to for informal discussion in the campus. That too, he just obliged me. Okay, you've been after me, I'll come. That kind of thing. So making the story short, that one thing is that you have to go for a headhunting, which you may not be aware of. Headhunting, going through association, lot of associations like CEO, Confederation of India. How many of you heard about CIA? If you go to the CIA, when the meeting, you'll get to know many people. So when you are going as a boss of any industry, like this is what I used to do, that you keep an eye on this guy. I remember one Samir Lamba, I recruited 20 years back. He was working for DCM, very good guy. Maybe that long back, with 5, 6 years. I come back and told my HR guy, Samir Lamba is the guy, go and pick him. There is no post also, no problem. Let's create a post for him. So the sourcing, recruitment is sourcing. We are talking about sourcing and attracting, which you don't get held up only with the traditional method. You have to go for an innovative, difficult one. The innovative, difficult one is your referrals, your headhunting, you're going through association, you're understanding the market thoroughly. So 1.2 is attracting and sourcing, which we think easily. I'll put an ad and come, that will not work. Okay, now this is over. Second point of recruitment. We are not talking about selection. I'm only talking about, after 10 minutes, you should be able to tell me what is recruitment, what is selection and eligibility. Okay. 1.2. What is 1.3? You got the manpower planning. You created the job description. You know of how difficult to attract and source. You know where to go and source and get the people. You source it, all those things. Then what is next? 1.4. Still, we are talking about only recruitment. Okay. What is 1.4? Sorry? Very good point. Shortlisting. Now, shortlisting, how will you do? Not that casual shortlisting. It has to be an intrinsic shortlisting. Intrinsic means that normally go by MBA with 10 years of experience, 50 years of experience, 45 years of age, 1 crore rupees of salary. That will not work out. What kind of competencies this guy shown? What kind of brand he imaged? What has come in his name in the industry? This is all what you talk about qualification and all eligibility. When you move to the selection, which we'll touch it next, when you're shortlisting, intrinsic means that not simply going by the basic must is, yeah, you must be an MBA, you must be this thing, that thing, 5 years, 10 years experience, all those basic things. But the intrinsic should go, what kind of capabilities, which will help you in your JD, JP, you prepared it. What kind of competencies, what kind of capabilities, what kind of proven skills he has shown it, which is fitting to us. Based on that, you have to do a shortlist. Again, why I'm telling all those things, we are doing a research here. Everything we want to do, effective recruitment and selection. Not naam ke vaase recruitment selection. Fill in the blank. You have given me 10 posts, I advertised it, I made a committee to sit, I selected some people, I onboarded and done it. This is the way mostly industry do it. We are not talking that one. We are talking about in a research manner. I want to take 101%, zero defect on my recruitment selection. Total 100% effective recruitment selection. Now I'll tell you now what is effective recruitment selection, what are the symptoms that is different. Now we are only talking about, if that is the case, intrinsic shortlisting. Basic shortlisting, your age, your qualification, things like that. What is intrinsic? What is the competence which I wanted? That your KRAKP will give you. Which what we call it competency-based shortlisting or competency-based interview. This guy needs to be a leader. This guy needs to have more exposure to strategy. Or this guy should have done some amalgamation. This guy should have a hands-on experience of merging companies. Worked in a company, merged things. He's worked in 3-4 countries abroad. He worked in particular sector. He was leading some association. He was leading some government, bodies in policy making. All those things you look for. Today, suppose I come back to that one. Chairman of airline. What are the competencies you look for? You look for some MBA from Harvard and 30 years of experience and works in some industry. Airlines. You'll select him that way? Correct. You'll not select him, no? No, what else you look for? Okay, you have shortlisted a candidate, worked in some of the airlines. Acha, again, should we stick to only the airline industry? Then you are restricting. So You are looking for a competency. What is that competency requires airline chairman? Flying the aircraft or ticketing. Correct. He's supposed to know ticketing, or he's supposed to know which aircraft, 737, what technology or how to fly? No. What is to be? He has to be strategist. He has to be a corporate planner. He has to be beating the competition. He has to have a vision, mission clear for the company. He has to energize his team. He's able to take care of the team, procure team, energize the team. He has to be performance oriented. He has to be change management oriented. I've given you how many competencies. I list down the competencies. Then I will try and see whether this guy, where the hell he has done a strategy. Which strategy has come and worked out very well. And what has been your leadership skill? I was just going through today only, this only, I think, your executive MBA group only. Rusi Modi, Tata Steel. Did you read? He went for a meeting. All of you know, Rusi Modi is one of the top leaders in India. This Tata Steel chairman. Okay, he went for a meeting. In the meeting, normally these people have once in a while, all of the workers also, once in a year or twice. In the meeting, some workers have come, sir, everything's going all right, excellent, but our bathrooms are not kept in hygienic condition. Whereas the executives' bathrooms are always in good hygienic condition. Then Rusi Modi sir asked the team, obviously the big leaders and all, how can he correct it? How much? They said, we'll take 1 month to correct it, sir, we'll ensure that. And Rusi Modi sir said that I will do it in 1 day. This guy got carried away, saying that how we, obviously repairing the bathroom, getting it, and then putting some do's and do nots training, all those things will take at least 10 days, 15 days. They've taken 1 month, but he could have said 15 days. He said, I'll do it in 1 day. Boss is a boss. Not at the end of the day, wherever there's a proverb called, you can neither change your boss nor your father. Right? Nobody can change that. You have to adjust it yourself, whether you like it or not. If I'm the boss, think about it. How much hell time will have? And you don't have a choice but to adjust it, right? That guy is easily saying yes, you will be tough. Okay. Because everything I look for, objectivity, outcome, process, right? It becomes easy and tough. So what Rusi Modi sir said, I'll do it in a day. And the downline people, they cannot say. They're just looking at him. And then again, after 5 minutes, he said, okay, give me a carpenter. I'll do it in Monday tomorrow. Again, they were really wondering, what does it mean? You know what he did is, he said, change the bathroom name board. Executive board to the workers board to the executive. Meaning by tomorrow onwards, workers will come to executive's bathroom. Executives will go to workers' bathroom. So see that jokes apart, his leadership skill. He said, now you've won the sense of ownership, right? You leaders, you're only taking care of your own sense. So now we'll make you. Not only, he said, after that, from today onwards, after 15 days, the bathroom should get changed. What workers are using today, it will come to executives. What executives are, he says that keep everything pick and pan, but you are not leading it. So the second line team has not led. Rusi Modi led it. Correct. So we look for leadership in all this position. Not that we call about 3 skills: technical skill, human skill, leadership, and conceptual skill. Technical skills means when you look for abilities. You guys are youngsters, right? You are an HR specialist or a finance or operation or supply chain. When you are at the young age, say 25 to 38, we look for 70% of your competencies more in your technical skill. Okay, when you reach the middle age, we also want you to get human skill also. Not that fight with anybody, everybody, and finding fault problem. At this stage, if you have it, well, good, but you don't have it, we don't mind. If you're good at technical skill, excellent. But the middle level, you have to have a little more. When you go to the top level, like the one, we don't need technical skill at all, just 10%. But what you need is extraordinary leadership and conceptual skill. And extraordinary human skill. I hope online students, you are hearing me. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
All of you are hearing?
Yes, sir.
No response from you.
Yes, sir.
Because I thought either I'm making you to sleep or I'm supposed to be sleeping, but you guys cannot sleep. I didn't sleep.
Sir, the only thing I want to say is we are seeing the first slide only, which says recruitment.
Yeah. You want to see the slides? I'll show you the slides later, okay? Don't
No, I
worry.
just wanted to just check if in case you have moved to another slide. If not, it's just fine.
No. We have not moved it. Because I'm in the flow, I'll show it to you. Next slide.
No worries, sir. No worries, sir.
Okay, we'll come back. Last, we'll go through the slides. We are all extraordinary people. No? We don't go by the slides. Right? Correct or right? Finally, we'll go through. Okay, come back to that one. So now what you look for is, we are looking for a shortlisting the intrinsic. Now you understand the difference between simply shortlisting is the MBA, Harvard or Michigan, Ivy League school, 10 years, 15 years of experience. But when you go to intrinsic, is it necessary only in the air industry? Other hospitality industry also? Something like that. So what we are looking, what is I call it must and wants. What is a must is his leadership capability, his change management capability, his performance oriented capability. I mean, he cannot say at the end of the day only give excuses. He has to deliver the numbers. 30% growth, 30% new market, all those things have to come. So that is what we call it shortlisting. Are we clear about intrinsic shortlisting? This is what we call 1.3. Now what is next? Here your recruitment stops. Now you are getting the meaning of definition of recruitment. Now what is the mean? How do you define recruitment? Recruitment is concerned with working on the manpower planning projection given by the corporate one. Based on the manpower projection in terms of number and things like that, the recruitment staff working will get started by the HR department. HR department has got an entry exit from corporate planning is giving a manpower dossier to you. Entry to HR is getting a dossier plan. Okay, number one. So in that, 3-4 recruitment activity starts. One, you prepare a complete activities of planning, JD, JRA, competency. 2, you have to go to innovatively, exhaustively, right, relevant, attracting, and sourcing. Now, you cannot go by the yesterday's. You have to be very innovative. You have to be one side up also. Sometimes you don't get, you got some candidate. There's no position, but this candidate can hit you. So you have to recruit. That also takes an industry. Okay, come. Yeah, this is A. Okay. Now, then we talked about shortlisting. This is so we recruitment now. Now the definition of recruitment is clear to all of you. Okay. Now what is eligibility? What is eligibility and selection? Huh? See, in this case, take only in this case of chairman or anybody. Eligibility is what? You want somebody not more than 40 years. He may be a great guy meeting all the competencies, but if he's 60 years, I don't want him. So that's a clear-cut eligibility, right? I don't want anybody less than an MBA from an Ivy League schools. Ivy League schools, Harvard, Michigan, all those kind of. That's an eligibility. That computer or any clerk will shortlist. If you are not there, you will not be taken to selection. So eligibility is what? Just a course of eliminating. It is mandatory. There is no negotiation. What we use the word, there's no negotiation. You have to be 40 years means you have to be 40, not more than 45. And then you have to be from Ivy League school, means you have to be from Ivy League school. And third, you have to be worked in maybe airline, maybe hospitality industry. You have to have that kind of thing, hospitality industry or, all those kind of, this all becomes your eligibility. So based on that eligibility, you shortlist for the next level. Correct? So eligibility is clear to you. Eligibility is only based on your intrinsic shortlisting. You, whatever mechanically you need it, qualification, age, and things like that will come under this one. Okay, not salary. Previously, salary could be one of the eligibility. Even now, many of the other posts, but top post like that, you cannot think about salary. If you are going to put salary as an eligibility, somebody asks more than that salary, I'll not get that, then you are not, your effort is going for a futile one. Here we are not seeing salary. I can tell you guys, one of the toughest job in corporate today is recruitment and selection, which you don't know. You don't get job also, one side, when we look for a job, right? When the corporate sits to select, toughest job. Very difficult to take. Any level post. It's not that easy. Even I've seen in academic also, it's not easy to get a good faculty positions. They may have a qualification, but they may not have the competencies, or they may not have that adaptability. There are many things goes together. So now coming to the eligibility. Any problem? Leaking. Okay, not here. Okay, guys. Now we talked about eligibility is clear to you. Simple, right? Recruitment is clear to you. Online students, are we clear? Are we clear about recruitment definition now?
Yes, sir.
We know the process of recruitment now. We know the eligibility now. Okay. See, what is the outcome of our effective teaching and learning? You should not be able to go and read a book to write for an exam. Correct? Correct, na? Our asset test to you and me. Effective teaching and effective learning is what? When you are clear with the concept and you don't have to refer to any books, write it clearly, then you are winning, I'm winning. Otherwise, you are failure. I hope I'm clear with it, right? Correct or not? Let's catch a bull by the horns, not just leave it. Now coming to selection. Now only selection starts. Where the recruitment ends, selection starts. Now how will you select? How will you select the TCS commercial guy, or how will you select the chairman of TCS? Okay. Acha, how do you go about selecting? Yeah, this guy saying background verification, written test. What are the ways? Now you are coming to actual testing. Selection is what? Testing. Predominant. What are the methods? What are the broad methods? Come on, list down. Say written test, psychometric test. Write down. Psychometric test, written test. Presentations. For a senior level position, they can come and make a presentation, right? What is the projection? How can it turn around this company? Aptitude test. What are the different methods of testing? Sorry? Group discussion, yeah. But what you said is very relevant. What do you mean with group discussion? How it will help? Apple is doing this. Good. See now, CSAT, online student. What are the selection tools? Written test, psychometric test, group discussion, presentation. What else? Come on, list down here. Aptitude test 5. What else? He's already said 5. You said. What else? Preliminary interview, first round of interview, third round of interview, all those kind of that.
Screening
5,
call.
6. What else? Screening call. Okay, you can have a telephonic screening call. Take 3. Yeah. 6. What else?
Face-to-face interview.
Face-to-face interview. Okay, great. Go ahead. Okay, let's take a particular 2-3 positions. Take 3 positions or 2 positions. How will you go about selection? Which 2 positions you want to take? Tell me. Your choice. I'll stick to one, chairman of Tata. Other than that, you take one more. Selection test cannot be same for everybody, no? It has to be different for different positions. Okay, take any one. Then only we'll have an experiential kind of experience.
So panel discussion.
Theoretically, we'll say panel discussion. Okay. Now I said let's take 1 or 2 positions practically. You are going to select some candidate for a particular position. Which position you want to select? And how will you go about it? In fact, if time permits, we should do a role play. Let's see how you guys, 2 guys are candidates, 2 guys are interview panel. Let me see how you're conducting interviews. Okay, now how will you go about it? Which position you want to take? Sorry? Director Finance. Okay. This guy says Director for Finance. He wants to recruit for which company? Mahindra and Mahindra. Okay. Good automobile. I like the SUVs. Okay. Good. Mahindra and Mahindra wants to recruit a Director Finance. You already got all the JD, everything ready? You got the applications ready. Now you got shortlisting over. Now how are you going to structure the selection? Come on. It's practical, right? Good point. How are you going to conduct your selection process for Director Finance for Mahindra and Mahindra? Very good. Come on, go ahead. Yeah. You are all MBA guys, right? Youngsters. Your mind should be working. Tell me, na? One could be psychometric test. But when, where, how, why? Okay. He says, okay, well, let's go one by one. Come on, guys. We are doing it practically. For the direct finance, number 1 point you can write down. We can write a case. You are working a director finance selection you are going to do. Let's do it practically, right? So first he says, already the shortlisting is over, right? Now he says, first of all, eligibility. Good point. Eligibility means you say not more than 40 years. Write down. What qualification? MBA finance, CA, cost accountancy. All are preferably one or both. MBA finance with CA or only CA? Well, CA. Okay. He says, this guy, what's your name? So he says that I don't want MBA finance. He wants only CA. Again, there could be many things. You have MBA finance, you have CA, you have chartered finance planner. Most of the Canadian and American firms, no, they'll go for all of you heard about, no? CPF, chartered finance, CAPCR. Yeah, CPA, chartered, and CFP, I think, chartered finance planner. This is what most of the American, even if you have to immigrate to Canada or US for finance post, if you have this certificate, not your CA, not your MBA finance. That may be preferred, but they'll essentially they look for CAP certificate. So he says, okay, he wanted to have a CA. CF, I don't know why he wants it. And based on my experience, I would prefer for a director of finance more of a MBA finance. I'm not saying it's my own personal, but nothing like is not should be a CA, because CA get more into accounting, auditing. He wanted a position of director of finance. I hope you are getting my points. If you take finance, there are 5 functions: accounting, finance, taxation, company law compliance, secretarial. Okay. Now, director of finance is like he doesn't have to be technically oriented, right? He has to be more finance savvy. Accounts, finance, taxation, costing, company secretary. There are 6-7 domains. Which domain you will prefer for this one? This is why, like stupid Mishra and all HR heads, you know what kind of salary they are getting? 1.5 crore rupees. The Reliance carbon
Swati,
HR
if you
heads
could please mute.
crore rupees salary.
Swati Sarvanan, if
I
you
mean, they
could
are
please
not doing,
mute.
they are not keeping anything on the head. But you know, they are thinking that level. Like we touched it one. Huh? We know what is the normal way to go? Direct finance, chartered accountant. I'm not saying that what I'm saying is correct, but at least you are getting a food for thought, right? Do you want this guy to be a technically sound with accounting and secretarial or compliance of law, which you get many people down and outsource it, and auditors are there. As a director of finance, you want a leader, right? You want a finance strategist, finance leader, amalgamation, getting best of the money, selling some of the things. You know, one of the, I'm not getting that one, young chap, he has come to, what's his, I think Bajaj only. Bajaj, his father was well known in the scooter industry. His son has come from you guys, youngsters, after studying abroad. Everybody was looking at him, how he's going to manage, because father was well known in the scooter industry, corporate, he was known as a leader. This guy has come in maybe 6 months time only, he's shown to the world what he is. Because of his finance astute leadership. He's seen 20, 30 companies. Whatever companies useless, he sold them immediately, which his father could have never thought about it. Whatever emerging business which is likely to come, he started those companies. He's consolidated, he divested, he gone for a new business, he taken the new way of taking. Now, what is the success of Reliance? Reliance first success. They got into the ground field to get 10 rupees, 1,000 rupees from each one to get the money to start the business. They not got into the trap of going to the banks to get the money. In a bank, you get into difficulty in getting money and difficulty in paying through the schedule and NP and all those things. Here, at least public fund is available. You can return as and when you need it. So now the finance director needs more of a leader, finance leader, strategy oriented, change management oriented, lot of network. The guy worked with international firms or RBA and things like that. So if that is the case, I'm not saying that CA guys may not be fitting. Most of the CA may not be fitting. Whereas most of the MBA base are likely to fit in. Am I getting my point? There's nothing direct answer. So let's go with, will you permit me to go with MBA finance or you want to go to CA? Okay. Okay. Okay, we are going with MBA finance. And a lot of experience in what? This guy should have gone into experience of amalgamation, merger, fundraising. Then only you'll be able to shortlist the CV, right? If you don't know this kind of competency you're looking for, how will you shortlist? You'll simply say a CV, like a blind reading a blind. Oh, this is a good guy. He's working so company, this like that. But you don't know he's actually working accounts. They're actually working compliance. Or working what he will do, no, that kind of person, you become a leader, he will kill the company. Because one, he lose that foresight and leadership. Two, he will always talk negatively. We need such people also who can talk. We call devil's advocate. We need one such guy in the board who can always warn us. Don't do that. But if I keep that guy in my finance director post, he will have no entrepreneurship, no intrapreneurship. The company will get killed or not. For the finance director here, the competency is entrepreneur, intrapreneur, leader, looking for opportunity. This guy will be a devil's advocate. Oh, you don't comply, you'll go to jail. Ferrari Act will come, Income Tax Act will come. I want that guy also, but not that position. So here, coming to that position, you got that one. So eligibility, you got it. Okay, guys, you've done it, eligibility. Now, what is selection for this guy? He will call him for a written test. Okay, you will not call him for a written. Yeah, one good online students, are you getting? Because I'm not getting a voice from you. Hello, online students.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, we are talking about selecting a finance director. Now, how will you select? Should we call him straight away for interview? No. Should we call him for a written test? No. Okay. So presentation is one method. Write down presentation. He will be asked to come and make a presentation about what is my company, what is his diagnosis, what is his projection, how will we be able to cheer it up, what will be his leadership, what will be the outcome. So he will give a presentation. So through the presentation, we will be able to get to know his thoughts, his vision, mission, his planning, management strategy will all come. One very good tool. What is the other tools? What is screening, man? Now again, you are going from Z to A. You already screened now, right? We were talking about select. Huh? That will come. That has come last. Good point. Good point. See, now we can call them for that. So these are the 2, 3. You select cases. Some actual cases of how companies messed up in merging. Actual, not theoretical case. Ask him to give your report. How will you handle it? This is called situational interview. What we said, na? Most of you in future, be careful. Lot of selection is going to take place only on situational. So what he said is situational interview. These are situation. How you cheer it up the other way around. So this is a very, very good point. 2, very appropriate one. What else? If there are 5, 6 candidates shortlisted, equally good. Equally shortlisted, 5, normally you don't get it. Suppose you get 5, 6 candidates that way. Then we can, like what she said, group discussion is a very good method. Put them together, allow them informally talk. What do you think about our company? What do you think about our customer? What do you think about our competitors? So in the group discussion also, many competencies which otherwise you will not get to know can get to know. Normally we use in India for entry level, right? According to the senior level positions, a very good selection. Provided you have few candidates, few equally good shortlisted candidates. If you have only one candidate, then presentation itself is more. So what we talked about presentation, Case study, situational interview, group discussion. What else? What else? Will he go through stress or not? This guy will go through stress, right?
Yes, yes, sir.
He'll go through. So he can go through stress level interview. One of the reports says, what are the competencies we look out to for the CEOs in future? You know, what are the competencies? The ability to go through frustration. Stresses will be there. Timeline will be there. This guy cannot take it and, get himself heart attack. He has to enjoy that one. Like the way you see now, I don't mind anything. The more pressure comes, the more. Even today, for example, I was telling you guys, I landed yesterday was a hectic day for me. I took evening flight from Ranchi to Delhi, Delhi to Bangalore. That itself took 6 hours, 7 hours. I reached home at 1:30, slept at 2, 6 o'clock. I got up, 7:30 to 9. I grilled my Thailand team. 9 o'clock, I'm here. Up to 1 o'clock, I'm with you. Either you take it as, oh my God, tomorrow I have to go to the class, I have to conduct the morning Thailand team interview and all. Or enjoy, okay, let me enjoy. So stress level. So this guy will go through stress. Now you can test. I have gone through it. I don't know whether I told you guys. Once I gone for a CEO's position of a JK company. One psychology professor from Delhi University. She administered a tough stress level interview. 2.5 hours. She has given a questionnaire. She has asked me structured question. Gone through everything. But this post, this guy is competent. He's a good leader, good strategist, but he's a turpok. He cannot go through stress. Correct, na? Then you're gone. Sorry? Most of the leadership and the finance also. Most of the finance will have, like he said, more this. Always there is a deficit. Don't think that big companies are not having. Big companies are of 10,000, 20,000 crores of it. We always think, big companies will be having financial, small companies are running with always deficit of fund, there's no fund availability, NPA is coming, this coming, that coming, all. Big companies also. Because the owners, like I said, like I told you about the boss, the businessman is much more than a boss. He never thinks about any failure or loss, especially when they reach a level, like Ajim Premji or anybody, they can invest on any business, which normally you and me will take 10 times to prepare on the laptop. Whether payback is there, this is there or not is there. Then finally we will not do the business, right? We'll justify ourselves by doing all the analysis. This business cannot be done. But big businessman flew carbon. Now when the water has come, nobody could have thought that water could come to that level. Now the air is started getting selling. Blue carbon is getting into that. Normal people will not think, right? Normal means we people like you and me who studied very well, got a good competency. But when it comes to entrepreneurial risk, we are not nearer to the entrepreneur. Maybe somehow, somewhere our culture pulls you. Only rationally we think. We don't think risky wise. So all entrepreneur will think more risky. I even noticed it. I could in my life 5, 6 very top class CEOs. I was very close. One of my boss was himself a pilot. He had 4 aircrafts. So I had a chance to always sit with him in the cockpit. And he loves car also. Very luxurious. The way these guys drive a car, the entrepreneur, the way we drive a car, lot of difference. Every time, luxurious car, 10 crore, 5 crore car, the way they drive, take risk and take and all, we will not do it. Even 20 lakh rupees car also, we are very careful. Oh, nobody should hit it. I purposely noticed it. Since I'm a researcher, I have this bad habit. Everything trying to see from research point of view. I didn't, at least 10 guys I've seen. The businessman, successful businessman or an entrepreneur, the way he drives a car, the way you and me will drive a car, lot of competencies, you can see the difference. So coming back to the point, stories apart. So the finance director has to go through how many we had written it? Presentation, case study, group discussion, and then stress level. What else? This is fair enough or you need some more? What else? What are the other tests could be done? Obviously, interview will come 1 to 1. Now, what is to be asked in interview? Okay, now this is enough. Now it comes to interview. Nowhere interview can be removed, right? This is the first phase of selection. Your group discussion, your presentation, everything got it. Then the second phase is interview. What kind of interview? You'll ask him, sir, tell me something about yourself. Why do you want to come and join the company? No? You cannot do that, no? It will be more of a behavioral and situational interview. Different kinds of interview. Provoking interview. When you talk about interview, write down what are the interviews? Fact-finding interview. Provoking interview. Situational interview. Yes, business awareness interview. I mean, we are talking for Tata chairman. That should be a guy should be able to talk about the whole aviation industry structure in the global, how it's coming, which company is done well, which company is doing bad, how the industry external factor is going to be there. All those things should come in that business awareness. So there could be different levels of interview. Okay. Now, how many rounds of interview for this guy? One round? Maximum 2 rounds. Okay. Now, first of all, let's close down. What are the interviews you written? Fact finding. What fact finding interview means? Whatever is written it somewhere wrong or correct and all, no? Because this guy is trying to cheat you in the, that he not worked in that particular year. That means this guy, here we'll see a lot of ethical consideration. We cannot take a guy with even 1% iota of doubt in ethicality, right? So in the fact finding interview, you'll see that everything is all right. Suppose he's written, I worked for 3 years in Johnny Walker, this thing. Has he worked? You must have worked in Johnny Walker, but he worked as a chief manager. But he will say, I was a director of marketing. This is what we call fact finding. So when somebody can do in that CV that kind of things, such integrity is doubtful. Can I have such leader in my company? That's what it comes to fact finding inquiry. Stress, I hope it's all going well with you guys. Stress level. Can you go through the stress? That has to be done by expert. Situational. Your situation. Provoke him. Purposely nub him that it can. There you will get to know his human relation skill. When you provoke him, how he takes it. So even in the morning only, I don't want to tell you that I was sitting, one of your faculty was coming and trying to tell me how courses have to be taught. We can do some exercise or things like that. For a moment, I was getting really, whom you are talking, what kind of thing. Then I thought, no, you got my point. Now that faculty, today it happened in the morning, 8:30. I was sitting, that faculty was out of excitement, talking, the classes should be handled like this, practically, with exercise, with role play. That faculty was trying to give me gyan, with due respect. So now the response is, I was getting little. I thought of nothing. What the hell are you talking to? Whom you are talking? Then for a second, I hold it. No, this is not wrong. I should have a good human relation skill. I should listen, relax, smile, and enjoy. First stage, I reached that as a human being to react to nothing. What nonsense you are talking like? And don't interfere with my autonomy. You do whatever administration you want to do. Coming to this, I'm like a surgeon. I will know how to cut and where to cut. Right? How much to cut, I know. How deep to cut, I know. I don't know anybody's nonsense. That could have been my reaction. That is okay. But then I controlled humanly. No, I should not mess up with this guys. I thought, okay, let him talk. Ram Khani, let me listen. Then I allowed him to fly. So that's what I mean to say. That because if we keep rubbing people, if I rubbed him, I rubbed 2-3 people, what will happen? Whatever mess he made it, I still demoralize them. So that is what we call top level people. Human relation skill also should be good. That is what that provoking questions helps you. Now, these are the interviews. Now, how many rounds of interview? Before you talk for this guy, I'll tell you Apple. Apple, how do they do? 4 rounds of interview they do. What is the first interview? They shortlisted 15 people. They put them in a group discussion. What's he said? They put them in a group discussion. There only they ask them to talk about the company's customer and company in general. Then they shortlist them out of that. Then they put a second group out of that. Second group talks more about the company strategy and competition. They have a very well kind of thing. Second. The third one talks about their ethics. Third one, particularly they covered up what kind of dress is the guys doing, how formal, how consistent. That is done by the third group. Then finally, if the guy goes through all the 3, then the final, what we call so-called final interview is done by a big board. Maybe the functional head, HR head, the business head, the stress level head, all those people come to the last level Once these guys see the first one, the group discussion on the 10 people, like what he said, on the what the company's competition, what is the company status. Next level, they say you talk about the for and against the employee or for and against the company product. The third level gets into some other strategy. Fourth level only they're able to get it. And what they are going to concentrate on the interview, also there's a slide which I'm not remembering, I'll give it to you. So Apple goes like that, 4 rounds of discussion. Now what will you do? And Google, for example, Google, if you left the company, okay, if you again coming back to the company, if you gone with the company with a clean chit, very well relieved it, whenever you come back to the company, no entry for you. Okay, they only see what kind of post available, take you back. They're most welcome. Provided you left the, you are most welcome to leave the company for personal, professional, whatever level. But you should have left the company with a clean chit, nice relieving letter with a nice one. You're most welcome to come back to Google anytime. No interview, nothing for you. Okay. On the other hand, you left it something like that. You have to go through 5, 6 rounds. First of all, you are not encouraged. And they don't reject you. Why they don't reject you? Because they have benefit of doubt concept. Maybe this guy may be good. You know, they expect a lot of respect for the human resources. Maybe this guy due to some reason messed up. So let me not kill him only based on that. But his interview process will be rigorous. He has to go through 5, 6 rounds of interview to prove that why he should be taken care of. Okay, that's the Google's one. Apple one I already told you. And in case of Tata's and all, mostly they go through 90% from within only. Now, Chandrasekhar sir is retired. So he's become the vice chairman of this one. And one of my close classmates, he was Bhaskar, but he was in this place only as your Titan Watches CEO. So he retired at the age of 60. They took him to the corporate office. So they have a clear-cut pipeline of doing it. So now this guy, well, where are we now? So we talked about the selection test. We talked about the kind of interview. When we have to close it, how many interviews you'll have? What kind of interviews? How many rounds? What kind of interviews you do? How many rounds? 1 round, 2 round, 3 round? And what will be in each round? And who will sit in that round? We are talking practically, right? We are otherwise the theoretically what is there? Yeah, conducting interviews and that. So what is that? 3 rounds. According to me, at least 3 rounds. It could be 2, but it's comfortably 3 rounds. Okay. The first round is what? Who will sit? First round would be done by experts. You call your internal auditor, external auditor, you call your bankers. Now, see again, you guys be dynamic. Yeah, don't get carried away with the old system and practice. Just unfreeze everything. Now, interview, normally what will you do? Your own senior guys will sit and do. No nonsense. Southwest Airlines, customer sits in the interview board. Okay. That's what you guys have a big world coming. Be dynamic, be agile every time. Don't, first of all, reject all the old nonsense practices. Correct. If you get carried away with it, you're gone, I'm telling you. Now, this case, first round could be, if I am the chairman, what will I do? I'll call my banker who's given me loan. Maybe CGM, director of finance of any bank, he'll be in the board. I'll call my external auditor, internal, he will be on the board. First round, right? Maybe some association. I am more into CIA or anything. Somebody, my good friend in another industry, I'll call it. So you are getting where I'm going through it, na? Yeah, I'm not getting next to catch his neck. I'm just seeing the broadly by an expert to see his functional capability and exposure and all. Done by a chartered accountant, my own firms, or a banker who are my friends, or maybe even a customer, maybe a big distributor of mine. Hello? Hello? I hope I'm audible to you guys because your system is not working. Am I audible? Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh,
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Only the girls are saying yes, sir. The boys, I think what they're doing.
No, sir, you are audible, sir, but slides are not changing.
Right, I'll just give it to you. Are you getting the information or not? I'll change you.
Yes, sir. I'm getting information.
Once I'll complete it, then I'll go through slide. Don't worry. Okay, that's my methodology. Because whatever in the slide is in my mind. Maybe I'm doing a little more here and there. I'm a different faculty. Now I don't go through vomiting. I bring in many things at a simultaneous. But I'll still go through the slide, don't worry. And the slides will be gone through and will given to you also. Whatever we are talking will be captured most probably in the slides. Okay, now coming back to this one. After this, let us go to the slide, right? Okay, now what is the next one we said? So first round would be that people. Experts, customer, your vendor, your director, let them come and sit. You'll get them. And what will be the second group? Correct? Yeah, good point. The second group would be all his colleagues, seniors, or little juniors. Nobody could have thought this kind of interview level, right? So if you do this thing, this acceptance rate, success rate is going to be great or not? Correct. A good point this guy raised it. All the business leaders of the group, all means maybe 3-4 people who's out of the top people. All those kind of things. Even some people like good money, they make that the union leader also to sit manufacturing company, sit as an observer, not to talk anything. So these guys will sit and talk to you. Second, so these two groups have come through. Okay. Then the two groups come through, then there could be final entry. Final entry could be with a chairman, MD, and the top vice chairman and things like that. So he has got everything. The final interview, that chairman is going to ask only on a business sense. Because he's already the other guys taken care of functional knowledge and skill, leadership skill, adaptability skill, comparative skill, everything is taken through these 2 rounds of interview. Now the finally chairman for him business. How will you get money for me? I have 10,000 crores. I need 20,000 crores fund for the next 2 years. How are you going to get money for me? What is your strategy? What is the cost? If I am the chairman, I'll get into that. Because all the other parties taken care of it, right? My business is getting expanded. I need 20,000 crores. My interest costing this much. How can you reduce my interest? Finally, how can you reduce my interest rate? And is there a better way of taking fund through public or some other venture capital money? Or do you think that I can do some amalgamation here and there? My strategy, my business reorganization. So the chairman will get into that. Only chairman can do it because most of these guys are not up to that level. They got to only that level, the functional level. So he gets into that. So that then the fourth round could be, it's basically their salary, the taxation, the negotiation. I mean, at this level, normally the word negotiation becomes very futile. You want the best of the candidate, you want to negotiate. Both things are contradictory. Correct. So here, according to me, this is again a very bad, there's no need to talk about negotiation. If you talk about negotiation, all this exercise is futile. You selected the best guy. He says, I want 10 crore rupees. I want this much share in this one. You can little bit do it. You say, no, my company limit is only 40 lakh rupees salary. CTC. Correct, na? Every level, yeah. Today, junior level, I don't have to pay same salary to both of you. Correct. There will be and most of the things we are talking about the leadership position. Here we are talking about leadership position. So the last, where the problem comes in, HR has to see in terms of how I can help you in your taxation. What kind of cars you need, what kind of housing you want, how your packaging could be tallied in to some extent so that you get a lot of benefit. And also you end up getting little rationalized on your taxation. You cannot escape. But instead of taking everything, what you want. There are some people like me, when I went last time to say, they said, sir, you can have a car, you have a status of 20. I said, buddy, I don't want anything, I want only money. There are some people, they want, no, I want your eligibility is that you have a car. The company will buy you that day, will give you a new car. But they'll all adjust against your CTC and things like that. So it depends on people to people. I was too clear. HR guy was trying to talk to me, sir, which car? Damn thing, I don't want any nonsense. You cut tax and give me money. Even if I have to end up paying little more money tax, I don't mind. But I want hardcore money. I've already gone through many cars. I don't want money. So that stage it comes. That is fourth stage. Clear? Are we clear? Clear or not? Now, this case, now you know the recruitment. You know eligibility. When it stops, selection handles. Now you'll be able to differentiate. The question and answer. You'll be able to define what is recruitment. You'll be able to define what is eligibility. You'll be able to define what is selection. You'll be able to know the difference between all the three. You'll be able to see which selection for what kind of position, which entry, what kind of position. Are you getting it, or all these things are not? This is what we should know at the end of the day. Okay, this is all we done. Now, the one question I'll answer, then I'll quickly go through the slides. That is, what do you mean by at the end of the day, what is effective recruitment? I've gone through all this thing. Now, what is the put? This guy should be continuing with me for a long time. Attrition less. He is always happy working with me. You know, so that he doesn't mind coming 8 o'clock in the morning, or is working at home up to 12 o'clock, or is working different things. He doesn't mind traveling 10 days, 20 days. All those things will happen when he is intrinsically liking the role, liking the job, right? What is effective recruitment selection? You selected the finance director. This guy is happy coming to office, happy working at a such level, happy traveling, happy bringing his network, happy bringing his own team. You know, all those things are there, then it's effective recruitment. If the guy leaves after 1 year, whatever reason, some extraordinary reason, personal, it's okay. Then it's not effective recruitment. He's not happy. He's coming to office to fill in the blank. He comes in a suit and put at 9 o'clock and goes back 7, 8 also. Show it, but actually he's not putting his heart and soul. He has not amalgamated. He has not restructured it. He has not kept the happy people. So that's what I said, recruit, happy recruit. So this is the process of it. Now quickly we'll go through the slides. Everybody's anxiously waiting for, though I have covered everything in the slide. Okay, this, come on guys, online. Long waiting for slides. So a lot of demand for slides, not for me. See, very sad,
No,
right?
because we can't see you.
You go, oh, thank you. God bless you guys. Okay. You can't see me. Why you can't see me?
I don't know. We just don't see you.
1 second. Sorry, I should have told me. Can you see me
We
now?
see you now. Yes, we see you now.
Now
Yes.
I'm standing in front of the laptop. You should have told me, Nagai. I could have come. I could have got more energized by getting this answer. Okay, now let's go back to this one slide. First slide is clear to you. Recruitment, eligibility, and selection. We already explained. As I told you, this one I wanted to discuss with you guys more on a research, as if you are doing a PhD. I want a effective recruitment and selection. I should know what do I mean by effective recruitment selection. 2, if I have to do, what are the different variables? Recruitment, shortlisting, and all those things. This is what I wanted to learn you. 1, effectively subject. 2, as if you are going to do a PhD thesis on that. Is that clear? This title is clear to you guys? Okay. What is the system here? Oh, I gone fast. Oh, there are some methods also. I'm going forward. Okay, guys, first slide is over, right? We'll go to the next slide. Now, what are the, can you read? Is it readable?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, where is it?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, 1 second. Okay, now, as I told you, factors relating to effective RSS. Which are the factors? Which are the pillars? Which are the variables? I given 3 pillars. Evaluating the variable trends. First is meaning of, what is the meaning of effective recruitment, which I given. Offer and expectation ratio. When we done more effective recruitment, at the end of the day, like the one chairman of Data, this one, he has refused to join. It has come in the paper that so-and-so Turkish airline chairman has been appointed, things like that. Within after 1 week, it says that he has refused to accept that offer. So if it is an offer acceptance ratio is going less, then it is not a effective recruitment, right? What is second? What is the director? Satisfaction, engagement. This guy is happy coming to office. He's coming with his using his all his network, his own contacts. He's thinking of a new strategy. He relook the way I said, relook the whole thing. You can see it. Otherwise, sticking to the old files. Your people will bring it. You are signing or doing some minor modification. Incremental. There's no question for this kind of people. Incremental change. It has to be drastic change. Is he doing it or not? That could be one way of looking at it. Then what else? Superior. What is superior performance? Attrition rate, after all those things, if attrition rate is still more, means your recruitment is not effective. What is superior performance? Which we explained already. Is he able to produce more? Is he able to get the team online? Is he able to come with a new proposal? All those things, superior performance. Okay, now what is next? Promotion within. Are you able to get a lot of promotion within? Because you've done proper recruitment earlier, the result of that successful recruitment earlier, you are able to get a lot of recruitment posts filled from within. So I'm telling you one variable. What do you mean by effective recruitment? The one question is that please tell me what do you mean by effective recruitment selection? Treat this as an independent variable. Tell me, you should be able to give 10 points. Attrition rate, offer acceptance rate, engagement of this guy, his performance has improved. All those things. I wish one of you do a PhD on that one. Okay, now that is pipeline. He's creating very less conflict. He comes and checks, sacks a lot of people. This director of finance or a chairman. I don't like these people. These guys are not good. I'm used to different style. These people do. A lot of these people, when they do now, they try to bring their own people, their own team. They'll disturb the existing team. And then they'll also bring, both things will go for a task. And then what is that? Last one is, he's able to change the manager. These are the few points. I'm not saying it. One thing you should know, what do you mean by effective recruitment? These are the few points. You can add any number of points. Online students are clear? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
Now, what are to get that effective recruitment, which I call it in a research methodology, independent variable. What are the dependent variables? Okay. Now, what are the dependent variables? We already discussed everything. Now, what are the framework? What is PDCA? Yeah, plan, check and action. So for each one of the variable we talked about, like I told in each class, you have to learn few practices, few models, few actual experiences, along with the conceptual clarity. What is the conceptual clarity? You know what is recruitment, what is eligibility, what is selection, what all to be done. You have a conceptual clarity. You should also some of the few best practices, how it can be done. Like I tell you, the interview, there's one method called STAR method, which is we are not discussing it. Now, which are the method? Now, the framework is we already discussed: manpower forecasting, construction, examine budget, corporate goals, strategies, technology, and everything will be done in the corporate level. That's the first block of a recruitment, right? The second one is how will you do that methodology? Meaning by the planning is done by many corporate leaders, including the HR head, based on the projection, the vision, mission, the new plan, new merger, everything. Then conclude number of vacancies at what level and when needed. That is all before HR gets into action, which we talked about the first level. Then here, what could be the hypothesis? If I have to research, we don't want to get carried away really with the research. I thought I'll tell you. What will be the hypothesis for the research? The hypothesis could be comprehensive manpower planning can impact effective research. How will you do research? If you are my research student, I want you to take up 5-6 hypotheses and prove it. One hypothesis could be comprehensive manpower planning can impact effective recruitment and selection, which you have to prove it through data. You talk to many people. So just for your knowledge, this is how there's an independent variable, there's a dependent variable. This is how the hypothesis is taken. So you don't get carried away with hypothesis. Those who are really serious about research, keep in mind. So research is not going to be that difficult for you guys. It's very easy. And with 100%, you can get a PhD. One easiest thing you can get in life is PhD, I can tell you. Provided you have a clarity like this, absolutely. The research design. Then everything is fun. If you don't have a clarity, then 10 years you keep doing up and down, you will not get anything else. Okay, this slide is clear, right? The third thing is, now what is the prescriptive approach? I use the word prescriptive approach. You got the manpower planning. Now the action starts from the HR department. What is the action starts? You will work on the elaborative documentation, your job analysis, KRA, KPA, competency assessment, interview preparation method, and you also see the market condition, where to go, how to go, get the candidate. Then here, these are the preparation for the first action taken by the HR department under the scope of recruitment. This doesn't come under eligibility. This doesn't come under the selection. This is a recruitment part of it. So here the hypothesis could be the holistic preparation of pre-recruitment documents can impact effective research and selection. Are you able to make it up, or it's going beyond level? the holistic preparation of document of this thing can really impact effective recruitment selection. So forget it, don't go beyond that. That's it. So this part is clear. This is what we discussed, right, so far. Correct. All the slides will come to you. Okay, you don't take a note, sir. Now, how are you going to sourcing and pay? Again, you are in recruitment only. Through internal, through external, digital, social media, referrals, business association, hunting talent, consultant, agencies, many places we talked about. And more we talked about today's at the leadership level, more of a headhunting, more of a referral, and more of a checking through the LinkedIn profiles. Not that you are advertising in a LinkedIn profile is applying. Like the way Google said, I'm hiring, I'm looking for. What they do? They go through the LinkedIn thoroughly. What is this guy's competence and capability? So these three could be predominantly more relevant the coming days, but a leadership level. Not simple paper advertisement and things like that. You will put social media and things like that. Now, how will you put an advertisement in India versus US? India, we can put an advertisement like, we want MBA, preferably male candidate, female candidate, all those things we can write. If you put the same advertisement in US, you'll go to jail. They talk about clearly about discrimination. You can talk about, there's a CEO position. We want somebody who can take care of a company to the next level with strong leadership skill, change management skill. Down, preferably we want somebody with management qualification. But the moment you put male, female, salary, this and that, you'll go to jail. You just go through the advertisement. They're very clear. Not only the advertisement, they have a lot of jobs classification very well done by the government itself. Whereas now we are getting into little bit codifying into job description, KRA, KP and all. For them, every job is clear. This is the role. This is the competency. This is the must and wants of qualification. So there is a difference between how will you advertise here? Because most of these companies are global now. When Tata is looking for this one, or Mahindra will look for a director of finance, it is not going to be Indian. I think there's a word of Indian is irrelevant now. Any company is a global company. In the past, we used to say global. Now we have to say this is an Indian company. Because meaning by 90% is global. Maybe only 10% company could be Indian. So this is the sourcing and attracting point, which we discussed. Then intrinsic shortlisting I talked to you. Can you read what is it readable? Which we already discussed in, not only qualification, his competencies, abilities, what he did, what he resulted to the society, what is given to the company, any marks on that guy, what is a CSR activity. Like I told you that one guy from Johnny Walker, the Scotland police was looking for him. He got all those good positions. Did I tell you this Harvard University past people, most of them are in jail? I told you the story, right? So like this, most of these guys, they may be a good background, good competency, good qualification. Later part, they did something. So this all have to be captured in your intrinsic shortlist. That's why I use the word intrinsic shortlist. This is all my own word. Now here, selection starts now. Once your recruitment activities completed. Online students, are you happy now we are going through the PPT? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Happy now?
Yes. Yep.
I hope I'm only repeating what I said, I suppose, right? Good. Yeah, now the selection starts. Selection, I said eligibility and selection. At length, we talked about what is eligibility, what is selection. I don't think we need to talk more. Now, what are the tests? Written test, essay rating, group discussion, strong reference, interview. In the selection, we not talked much about reference is also very important. Reference is not taking 2 calls. Oh, so-and-so worked in your company, how was he? No. I had experience, again, 1 or 2 company. 1 or 2 positions, they spend 5 lakh rupees on single position reference. Give it an agency. They take months. They go through all your passport, where all you landed, which year you landed, which all business you dealt, which association you are active in business association. They go to thoroughly check all your reference. There, they'll get to know about your competency also. They'll also get to know about your character and ethics, or not even the character ethics, your own vision, your way of looking at it. You know that I'm not saying that you are not character, you don't have integrity. Maybe your way of looking at doesn't suit me, my culture. Like Tata and Reliance, what is the difference? Tata, they don't sack. People are in, people are through. Not a big salary, good salary, not a big salary. Reliance, they'll pay you through nose, maybe 5 times more than, but they don't mind terminating in 24 hours. Correct. So the cultural different. Now, why that? What is that guy? The chairman, the dispute is contained, Tata and that guy. What's his name? Yeah. Cyrus Mishra, why it didn't go through? Cultural, big cultural. For Tata's, profit is one issue at the end. They're more about governance. They're more about holistic. They're more about things like that. Okay. So Misri started thinking like a Reliance. Everything like a business. I want to put, grow. I'm not saying he's wrong or he's right. Culturally, there are two different people. So obviously, this kind of people cannot fit with culture data. And those people working in Tatas, they'll not be able to survive even 1 month in Reliance. If the guy makes a mistake of 100% increase salary, he's making the biggest mistake in his life. Here, everything is fire and fire. Done. Morning you come, afternoon you will not be allowed to take your car. You hire a taxi and go back. Though the car has been given to you as part of your CTC when you joined it, but something goes wrong, or they found it not all right, sir, leave the car because you're not still not paid installment. You take a taxi and go home, sir. So what I'm trying to say, these are the things which has to be checked thoroughly in the reference point. Okay, next. What are the interview strategies? Situational, stress level, group interview, rounds of interview. We talked about everything, right? All this interview. But there is one method called STAR. The STAR is nothing but what we explained. What is STAR? S for situation, T for task, activities, result, reflection. This is more of a situational interview. STAR is nothing but a situational interview. Particular situation is given. How you took it. What kind of task you could have done it. What kind of activities you could have done that. What kind of results you could have given. What is your reflection on that? So it's a basically situational and behavioral interview based on this model, STAR. If you remember this model, the interviewer will be able to ask him question particularly in that. How did he solve the situation? How did he handle the task? How did you, all the framework goes very handy. Otherwise, we'll talk. We'll leave the major one. So this could be one best method. This question can come to you. Please explain about STAR method in interview. Anything? You're not able to read? Clear, na? Then Apple interview, I already told you. Apple, the way Apple, what they look for. Come on, online student, read this one. Apple 4 rounds of interview explain to you. What they look for the leadership position. Vision minded. Does the guy is talking about vision or is only talking about the managerial issues? Is he more future oriented? Taking the companies where to invest, what kind of technology, all those things. Is he passion minded? Is just happy go kind of guy, or he wants to always look for because Apple is what? What is Apple's vision? Doing an impossible technology upgradation, not the cost reduction. Differentiated, unique, passion oriented product. That should be the culture of every employee. Not that chalta hai kaam karenge. There are a lot of companies, they want only that. Chalao kaam, kisi tarah se jugaads. There's a book written by, when Indians, we are all known for very good jugaad man. Okay. And one of the IM guys written a book called Jugaad Management. Very good book. The other guy, Kandelkar, has written a book on creativity and innovation. So Apple is looking for people with a lot of creativity, not Jugaad. Again, both are right and wrong. Nothing is wrong. Where, which culture, what it wants. You got to getting my point. Don't get into that Jugaad management. A lot of Indian companies, they cannot survive without Jugaad management. Jugaad in product, Jugaad in procurement, Jugaad in taking money here and there, Jugaad in giving credit, Jugaad in keeping creditors' money and managing the fund. All those kind of Jugaad, which is a very tough job, I'll tell you. Which is not easy, very, very tough job. Okay. Now, what we're looking for, innovation minded, future minded, passion minded, contribution minded, engagement minded, excellent minded. The selection will be guided by all these mantras. Where selection test has to probe this thing. Where interview test has to be probe this one. All the 4 rounds of discussions. That is why Apple is Apple, right? So what we do is any job, particular job, do it with perfection, with excellence. Be it recruitment. Then that company can do well. But every job you do jugaad manner. Fill in the blank. How many of us thought recruitment so seriously as we are talking today? No, frankly. Correct? In recruitment, we are achaya. Advertisement aa gaya. Then some guys will sit on the entry board. Some nonsense question will take place. Uske baad HR wala baithega. 10%, 20% reduction. Done, right? This is all mostly done, right? But what impact it can have, what impact recruitment should have, now what I'm doing to have that should have the effect of it, which most of the corporates are still, maybe now they are beginning to get up it, but maybe 20 years back, that was 20 years back, oh, okay, I advertise, I'm a big guy, you are asking, get a job for me, I'll treat you like that. Now, not like that. Now, all the guys, when you're going for an interview, they ask you, where do you want, sir? Which car you want you to pick you? Which slot suits you? What kind of lunch you want us to keep it ready for you? That level, company started behaving. What kind of soup you want? You want a brown bread or white bread for your soup? HR guys started asking to this level. So your slot is fixed. It happens to be lunchtime, sir. What kind of lunch you like? You want Mediterranean lunch? You want a Punjabi lunch? You want which lunch? So that means they are carrying. I mean, the carrying doesn't mean they are going to select it. But previously they used to treat it at a different level. That you are asking job for me, wait, better. Then I'll see that kind of approach. So totally change. So this is the Apple's method. Now, there's one more concept called assessment center. Assessment center means like somebody has asked me a few days back, sir, can you come in our company? Most of the selection going for a task. Either that guy leaves or we are not happy. We are paying good salary, sir. Market salary we are willing to pay, but the person leaves or we are not able to. So a lot of guys, the consultant started a concept called assessment center. Assessment center is nothing but what we discussed. We combine situationally the best kind of, like what we discussed for director finance selection. We cannot use it for a manager finance, right? Manager finance selection could be different. So you combine many tests, psychological test, written test, group discussion, right? Right test for right level of position, which is called assessment center. The assessment center will finalize what post, what kind of competence, whatever we discuss, it's done in a holistic, inclusive manner through an assessment center. One word is what we discuss comes under assessment center. Otherwise, it's only one-sided. So today, many consultants are blooming, saying that, sir, I have run an assessment center. I'll make sure that this post gets filled in successfully. The guy will not leave. What they do is all the tests. They'll go through all those multiple tests. Simulation they use heavily. So all of you know simulation, right? Simulations are used. Given all capstone, when you study capstone courses like business strategy and all, a lot of simulation cases will be given. Actually, you are working in a company through the games, simulation games and things like that. You will feel it yourself. Money is given to you. Fund, you are working on a strategy, you are working on a product, you are investing. How you are making it or messing it up, in front of you will come in the computer. So this is called simulation camps. When you study the business strategy, I don't know whether they are doing it or here. In IIMs and all, largely business strategy is run through simulation camps. Okay, this is assessment center. Then what is going to be the future trends in the recruitment? Southwest Airlines, the entry board, customer they sit, vendor they sit, like he said, good point. The colleagues, it's not the senior only interview the guy. That the equal colleague junior also interview him, 360 degree. Because he has to get along with everybody. And this guy should also know whether this guy will be able to understand our culture. Customers, traders, your association. So all those people will be involved. That's what I call 360 degree panel. Customer involvement. Online preliminary test to eliminate. Not many things could also be done. Telephonic interview, online test and things. This all comes under the eligibility. So you will do a lot of eligibility because top management cannot afford to give so much time. They have to give to get the best, but they cannot waste their time in doing all those mundane kind of activities. So a lot of preliminary pre-exercise need to be done online, and for that also you must have a structure. Now, are we clear? I hope we have covered all the slides. Online. Hello.
Yes, sir, we can hear you.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
we covered all the slides, right?
Yes, sir.
And this is what we are talking. Any question? Are we all of us are clear? What is the learning outcome today? Six 10 learning outcomes. Effect. Right. I agree with this Taklu guy's words. Effective recruitment. Your Personality shows here. Good. You hit the nail at the head. Effective recruitment is a 1. Then we talk about recruitment. Then we talk about eligibility. Then we talk about selection. Then we talk about for everything there has to be customized. Nothing like a stereotype. What I know, I will do. No. Everything for level, position, like to the extent of director of finance, I confused you guys, right? It's not director of finance. Normally, what do you think? CA. I'm not saying that a lot of CAs got more into finance. The issue is here, you want that level finance or accounting, secretarial, costing, compliance. All are equally good. But to me, since I worked in corporate as leadership, I want somebody who's a leader of finance. Because all these jobs will be assisted by a deputy director or additional director who are good in that field. But those guys cannot take this position. But whereas my technical skill with a lot of conceptual skill, I will be able to get output out of this. So tomorrow it has to be more of a situational kind of. Correct? Agree with me or not? Okay. Any questions on that? And the practices, we talked about reference more, we talked about STAR, we talked about assessment center, we talked about Apple style of working, we talked about Google style of working. Okay. And we practically did how will you go about getting up candidates for in case of director finance. Through this thing, have we covered this subject theoretically, practically, conceptually? The output is you should not go and read a book to prepare for this. That is asset test. Do you have to still go and read? At the most, if you just go through the slide, you should be able to have a clarity. Do you have that clarity or not? Tomorrow, if I have some time, I'll also send you your book PPT on selection recruitment. Your get will go away. Okay, that also I'll give it to you. Okay, any questions? But then I can give you a break. Then we'll take up training and all. Online student, any questions? Any questions?
No, sir.
So
No, sir.
take 10 minutes break. We'll come and touch training and development. We need to complete today. What about all your presentations and all? Yeah, you don't want to clear your exams.
We have to.
We have to, because that is not under my control. This is all under my control. Your teaching, way of teaching, the way of your learning is between you and me. Examination is not between you and me. Examination is somebody else. Okay, where I can help you in moderating, but you have to go through the process, right? So I think next class you should make a presentation. Done.
The 25th is the deadline.
I don't know whichever is the next date. Let's have a, because if you don't present, if it doesn't get entered into the LMS, I will not be able to give marks.
So due date is mentioned as 25th.
Now what is the date? Yeah, but you have to make 2 presentations, yeah. Huh? Two, na?
No.
2 assignments, na, you have to do. Before 25th is only 1 or before 25th?
One, sir. Only one, sir.
Okay, so great.
25th it's one,
So
sir.
then we are all well ahead of time, I suppose, right?
Yes, sir. We are
Oh,
completing other assignments, so yeah.
Oh, okay. You guys are taking HR assignment last, right? Thanks.
No, yours is the last 25th is the due date. So before that we are completing other.
Okay, no problem. See, I don't have any issues. Comply with their direction. Correct? I'll draw the line clearly. I don't want anybody come to me how to teach and all. Like I told you, I was getting totally irritated. At the same time, I will not go to that line when to have the assessment and things. It is their job, right? Okay, guys, take 10 minutes break. Then we'll come to training and development.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Where? Hello, hello, hello.
We can hear you.
Hello. Hello, online students.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
We
sir.
can hear you.
Yes, sir, we
Ah,
can hear you.
now he can also hear you. Okay, good. Sir, how do you? Yeah. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello,
Now
online
it is audible.
Yes,
Now
sir,
it's
we
on.
can hear you.
Okay, guys, come on. 30, 40 minutes will close. Why do we need training? Yeah? To keep the class cool, silent. Okay, why do we need training? I asked with this question. I don't want to give you training. Unless it's very effective and important, useful, you prove it's useful, then we'll have training. Otherwise, no need to training. Now, when I'm recruiting highly qualified people, why do I need training? Yes, sir. Come on, argue with me now. Okay. Okay. Training is important. When they join the company, new employee, does he need a training or not? You need some induction or orientation training. You required or not? What these guys are doing, I don't know. Every time it's something or other. Somebody can help me, huh? Slides are not changing. Try it. That also. Okay, there could be different kinds of training. One is induction and orientation. No, can we say without induction orientation people can manage? What this guy there? Slides are not more. Sir, sorry, little more help. The slides are not moving. Okay, while he is coming. One is induction and orientation training. Before that, his training is a panacea. Training is, what is panacea? Sir, slides are not moving.
One time
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we asked the question whether yes, training is needed. I'm not saying training is not needed. Is it necessary? Yes. Is it panacea? What do you mean by panacea? Now this time we'll go through the PPT style, right? Last time we went through the other style. Let's go this time PPT style. Let's conclude ourselves. Okay. Is it a panacea means? Panacea means a medicine, single medicine, it can take care of everything. Fever, headache, heartache, everything it can take care of. Training cannot do that. Training is necessary, but training cannot be prescribed everything that training can help. So it's not a panacea. Now, what's the difference between education, training, and development? You are educated, like I asked the question. You are educated guys, we are recruiting MBA, Tech, PhDs, M.Pharma, P.Pharma, Chartered Accountant. Then why doing it? So this is coming as a strong education. So education is more deeper, more broader, more subject wise. Training wise, immediately hands on. You are joining a new job. How to take up the new job? Or you have to be trained for a future job. Or you have to be given a training in the new software. So training is more systematic. Systematically developing more of your skill. Little bit knowledge. Training will try to help your knowledge. Little less because your knowledge has already come through your education. More on the skill set. Training can only help you to concentrate on the skill. And they say attitude, which is very difficult to prove. Till today, there is not much of a research to prove how training can change somebody's attitude. A lot of theories are there, sensitivity training, T-training, and all those trainings. I can change the attitude of the people. But still, to me, with all my experience, I don't know really how training can help in attitude. But theoretically, yes, education is more knowledge, more broader, more bigger horizontal. Training is more deeper and more skill set oriented, and also to some extent changing to the compatibility to the attitude. Okay. Now, what is development? Development is your potential is exploited. Like 3 of you join as a management training. Okay, same qualification, same background, same recruitment. Okay, out of 3 of you, 1 of you cross the level. You become a CEO and things like that. So in the process, I notice potential in all 3 of you. 3 of you, somebody may have got a lot of potential to be trained to be a leader as a CEO or a VP or a posting outside. So the development is concerned with more long term. Training is short term. Current job, new job, working with a new software, working with a new process, getting acquainted with SOPs. You know, most of the companies, they have a lot many SOPs. I don't know about IT companies. A lot of manufacturing companies, they want the day you join, they have 30, 40 SOPs. You have to study and go through and then clear it. Okay. So training is more focused, more deeper for the current job or preparing to some extent for the future job or preparing you for the new process or new technology, all those things. So education stays there, training is there. Development is more concerned with all top level. Now for whom? Training for whom at what level? We said already for the induction level, induction orientation is needed. Do you think the training is needed for the top level CO? Yes or no? Definitely needed. Now today we are talking about, we discussed in the classes last time, I think, balance scorecard. If the COs and all are not aware of balance scorecard, how to control the company from a balance scorecard kind of methods. You know that he still goes on in his own chartered accountancy method of seeing the balance sheet and ratios and things like that. So as good as like DU inductee, even the CEO also needs it. Or some they are going for amalgamation, merger, or they have to work in a different countries. Maybe some sort of cultural training, sensitivity training, new knowledge training, new strategy training. So the training is needed from here also, that level also. The middle level, obviously, you are getting a job rotation. When you are tipped into pipeline, what is the best way of doing it? You are taken into the top level, maybe through job rotation. Maybe your job is enlarged. Maybe you've been transferred to different places so that you are groomed. You started with somewhere as a technical in one area. You are getting groomed into cross-functional. The cross-functional grooming takes place through job rotation, job enrichment, transfer, under coaching and all this. So the middle level also training is needed. Now, what is the training for whom at what level? Now, what are the kinds of training? So now we conclude training is needed, number one. Education is more of the knowledge already at a broader level taken it. But training is more deeper, focused on developing your skill for the current job or a middle level job, or also when you are becoming a CO, that takes care of a development part. So we can all come to the conclusion that training is useful, needed, right? There's no dispute on it. Now, when I said panacea, training can solve only training related problems. Meaning by, what do I mean by? Suppose the company, a lot of attrition is taking place. Okay. Now you want to address that problem through training. Okay. So you are properly trying to take care of the bosses who are not good in handling people. Their supervisory manhandling experience is not good. You train that guy, try to improve so that people don't leave the boss. There's a saying, people leave the bosses, not the company. There's a big saying, right? So probably the attrition you found out, the leaders who are too good in technical, too performance oriented, too aggressive, but they are very less sensitive to the human. So let me give that guy kind of training so that he is not only technical, his human part is also taken care of. His sensitization to human resources is taken care of. So attrition comes. Understand that? So training can solve that problem. Suppose the problem is not that one. The structure itself not proper. The guy who can work for 8 hours particular output. You given such an output which is not imaginable. So in that case, you think that training can solve? Training cannot. Training can solve only training related. Structure is not correct. Your policy is not correct. Your process is not correct. All those things have to be set right differently. Even I'll give one small example. Did I tell you one example? The night somebody was trying to throw an axle, the charge it was given. Did I tell you this small story? Okay, I did. In one of the UK company, on the night shift, one guy has thrown a hammer on the other guy. So he got bleeding, he was admitted in the hospital. Obviously, next days, some action have to be taken, right? Charge it has to be taken. Whom do you think they should give a charge it? The guy who's thrown it or the guy who's bleeding? Obviously, the guy who's thrown it. Okay. So the inquiry went on and all those kind of things. Then finally, the conclusion was concluded that way. It was not the mistake of the guy who's thrown it. It was a mistake of HR and HR policy. They said you made that guy to work 18, 22 hours. He's only highly skilled guy. There was less number of people, more absentees. So this guy, you've been made to work him 18, 20 hours. He could not go through the stress. So out of stress, he thrown it. So that means the problem, the charge, it was not the guy who's thrown it. So similarly, training can solve only training related problems. If it's like, customer conscious, you are more into technical guy, you need to be given more conscious on customer issues. Or the, professional guys, operation guys, they don't know about reading a balance scorecard into their mapping. They can be given a balance sheet. Or people, this guy, accounting and marketing, always there's a dispute. We can have a interpersonal relations kind of training. So there could be a training based on the training need. But people sometimes they're trying to mistake training can't solve any problem, number one. Or they come up with some training chart. They'll create a training calendar. Nowadays about artificial intelligence. Okay, this is reasonably good. Otherwise, they'll say effective communication, effective leadership, managing effectively. This kind of common program they'll come up, they roll it down. It may or may not give that result, right? Unless so, no. What is the way to get those effective training? This is what happening, right? Training. You understood what is the training. We understood what is training, education, and development. We also understood training is a large extent needed, provided we know where training is needed, where other intervention. Other intervention could be the structural change, policy change, or process change. If that is taken care of, training can give you excellent result. This is what so far we talked about. Now, what is next? Now, what are the types of training? One, we said orientation, induction. Two could be for improving the current job. There are some people, like for example, take an accounts manager. He's good at accounting. He's not good at compliance. He doesn't know how to send a statutory reports to various governments. So that guy needs a current job. Or SAP introduced. He has been used to work in Excel sheet or what is it, advanced Excel, what is a tally kind of thing. Now the company has come up with a SAP accounts integration, ERP. So that guy to improve his current job. Now here I can say my own word. Why should I give you training? You're already educated guy. You're already become guy. MCOM guy, chartered accountant. Why should I give you training? No, the training is needed because I have been used to work in a tally. Whereas here now I have to work in a very complicated ERP system. Maybe SAP, maybe something like that. So the current level job also you need training. A lot of SOPs. A lot of functional training. You want to improve your market research, or you want to improve your supply chain knowledge, or you want to improve your procurement technologies, or the HR guys are good in HR, not good in compliance of labor laws, or finance guys, I said 5-6 areas. He may be good in one or two for the current job. He has been an accountant, he was an accounts manager. Now he has moved into costing. So he doesn't know ABCD of direct costing or indirect costing. So you need to be given knowledge-based costing or how to prepare a cost sheet and all those. So it could be functional, could be marketing functional, could be customer care, could be HR, could be operation, anything like that. And on the top of it, more so managerial leadership. If a lot of the manager guys, by virtue of the technical too much of knowledge, very good working hard, they reached certain level, they got a recognition. Then they've been promoted to the manager. But the moment they reach a manager, I like told you in the morning, his level goes up from technical to human. Whereas this guy is still not good at the, I call it human orientation, task orientation. You can use that word. Human orientation, task orientation. He's more of a task orientation guy, fair enough. But when you reach that middle level, you should also know human orientation also plays a role. You cannot do everything on yourself, right? It has to be done by your own team energy. So that is where it comes to that one. Then it could be succession planning. Succession planning means that I have to prepare for. Out of 10 guys I inducted every year. Most of the good companies like DCM or Tata's and all, they always induct every year good amount of trainees from the best of the schools and colleges and all. Then they start preparing them for all the places. So when they're preparing every stage, these guys have to be given training, different cross-functional training. Nowadays, different digital, different technology oriented, different countries oriented, different cross-cultural oriented. All those things have to be given succession planning. So it means training is going to play a very critical, important, major role, yes or no. Or it's only a department is there. I'm also rolling some few programs. No. If you want to really get benefit, training department has got a lot of scope to do. Now, what are the ways of doing it? On the job and off the job. What is on the job? What is off the job? What is on the job? Online students, what is online? On the job and off the job. Hello. What is online? What is on the job, off the job? Training. Simply, theoretically it says.
So I think off-job training is classroom training.
Okay, go ahead.
And online I'm sorry, what was the other one, sir?
Off the job, off the job.
Off the job, I think it's like this. I'm not sure how to put it across.
Okay. Okay.
It's on the job.
Or on the job is like working.
Okay, let's take a practical example. Suppose the plant engineers, plant chemist, they're working in the plant. engineering industry or a chemical industry or manufacturing industry. Now, what is on-the-job training for him? What is off-the-job training? On the job itself, for example, he has to get a new plant, they got it, or new software and introduce the plant itself. So some expert, trainer, coach him on the job itself, how to do it. How can he do it? How can he learn it by learning, through the process on the hand itself, on the job, without taking him to a classroom or without sending him to outside. So if the production guy gives him, for example, marketing is on the job. What is that? One thing is put him into the classroom, tell him, know your 4 Ps, know your customer, know your market. All those things is, you can give a classroom lecture, which is an off the job learning. On the job means his boss taking him, like surgeon. Whenever the MBBS students are passed out and all those things, they cannot immediately given to cut, nah? But still they will be, someday they have to be given a chance. So on the job, they get into the surgeon, along with the surgeon, they get into maybe little cutting, little kind of thing. So they get trained it. The day they started on the job, whatever number of training you give, surgery has to be done like this, you prepare the patient, you mark it, you do it, do that, read 10 books, 100 lectures. Will you be able to do the surgery? Like Germans are known for a lot of process, excellent process. Taking up a flight, go like this, wear the shirt, walk 1 second, get into the cockpit. There are 30, 50 checklists. 1, 2, 3, 4, all those things. All those things fair enough. But at the end of the day, so that comes in the on-the-job training. Now, how will you do on-the-job training? Through coach, by your senior, by your expert, by guiding you on the job, by coaching you on the job, by making you to go through that one. That's on the job. Off the job, the same example, off the job, like this marketing guys. They have a lot of experience, like somebody like you, got a lot of experience of marketing, you know the product, you know the marketing, and you know everything. But probably you need some knowledge broadening. What is the latest trend in the marketing strategy taking place? How the marketing management itself is getting changed. Nowadays, you talk about all knowledge-based marketing. Not that old traditional management. Everything gets into how you are innovatively marketing, how you're thinking of a new scheme. Previously, what you do is reactive kind of strategy. Reactive means some customer, some marketer has come with that. I will, in reaction to him, I'll come with something similar to that. But today, the first mover strategy. What kind of strategy, marketing strategy I can come up new so that other guys will benchmark. So this kind of things, probably you have been too busy in doing, achieving the targets. You don't have time to read the theoretical concept, new models, new things. So you have to be taken the off the job line. Suppose you are a marketing manager, you'll be given how the marketing management can be changed. What are the new ways of doing schemes? How you can digitalize it? What are the collaborative ways of doing it? All those knowledge has to be given only through the off the job. So off the job mostly to enlarge on your new knowledge or the new things which is happening. So off the job means not in your campus, maybe in your campus in the training hall, or you are sent outside your training room. Maybe that you send it to IM. They conducted a 2 days program, strategic marketing management or branding marketing management. So you've been sent to broaden your knowledge. One, broaden your knowledge. 2, you will also get to have a network. You'll discuss with many people. So this is off the job training. Either in the campus, in a training hall, away from the job. Done either by your own existing trainer or from outside trainer. Or you are going to the professional institutes to go through 1 day, 2 day training. Or you go through outside some professional association to go through the training, which means off the job means you are away from that. And who will take the job? Could be a trainer of your own company, coach from outside, some expert up in that field. This is called on the job ops. So we are clear. We are clear about what is on the job, off the job. Are we clear? Online student?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, you know that I'm going with the PPT along with you guys today. Okay. Now, again, this is a model. As I said, training can be effective only if you do it systematically, professionally, formally, our own useful method, like the way I talk about recruitment or anything else so far to you. Now, training also needs to be formal, systematic, professional, consistent, no ad hocism. 90% today it takes, now it's improved a lot. Maybe till 10 years back, it was purely ad hoc. If I'm a training manager or HR manager, I have to prove that I'm doing something. I'll come up with some training program, calendar. I'll conduct 10 programs. Or some few people I send some outside program. Or 1 or 2 seminars I'll conduct. Training is done. Is it enough? Is it the way? Maybe that will also give some benefit. I'm not saying that doesn't give benefit. But is it the right way of doing? So if you have to be professional, you have to have a model. So here we have a model called Sheffield's model. Sheffield model, you can write out. Sheffield model. What is the Sheffield process of training? So when you go to doctor, what is the model uses? What is the model uses? When you go to doctor, what he does? He will diagnose you. He will see your blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol, ECG, and all those kind of things, so that he is able to diagnose. He is seeing your blood pressure, sugar, cholesterol. If this 4 is seen it, he gets a lot of idea to how to go. So through that method or simple, whatever other test he does, it clinical test, he is trying to diagnose it. Okay. Once after the diagnosis, he is prescribing a medicine. Prescribing a medicine is relatively easier compared to the diagnosis, because medicine has got, these are the number of medicine. This is this kind of molecule. This will have take care of this one. That's why when you go to pharmacist, you ask them, he will give you medicine. The doctor also probably gives the same medicine, but I don't say this. What we are doing is right. But because medicines has got maybe 50, 100 fast-moving medicines, which has got the implication for fever, cold, things like that. So even if you take a fever itself, it could be many fevers: viral fever, malaria fever, corona fever. So for everything, it's different. So here, the same method. So once the doctor diagnoses it, he gives you pills, maybe simple painkiller, maybe simple crocin, maybe ampicillin, maybe whatever antibiotics are required. All those kind, or maybe if it doesn't go through, then gives an injection and trips, all those kind. So depending on the diagnosis. So similarly here also, we need to have a diagnosis, prescription. Let me complete doctor first, then I'll come to it. The third is the patient takes it, implementation, or use it. Evaluation is, does it affect it? Does the patient respond to do it? Whatever diagnosis medicine, does the patient respond? Then only it's effective. Otherwise, you have to go back. Now, using the same model, Sheffield, training. Training needs to be conducted first with the diagnosis. Where do we start the diagnosis? Called training need analysis. You can write down. Training need analysis. You can see the slide. First job, any professional, formal, consistent training you need. You want an effective training. You have to start with the training need analysis. Which are the talk areas? Okay, if I talk about, when I talk about target areas and segmenting, I may not be able to do everybody training. Okay, in a company. Maybe every year you segment it. This year I have to concentrate on the production side. This year I'm going to concentrate on the marketing guys. Or I'm going to concentrate on the top level people. Or I'm going to take some cross level people. If you say training could be vast. There could be a lot of training need everywhere. But at least let me segment it. This year, this group I'm going to concentrate. Because my company is not having customer focus. They are more into production focus. So to get a customer focus, I have to train the production guys. I have to train the financial guys. I have to train even the marketing guys to be more customer focused. So so you need to have a training need analysis. That first one is that you have a target areas. It's better to do for everybody, but it is not practically possible. So you segment it, like marketing management, you do segment. This year I'm going to do for this customer centric, I want to improve. Or attrition reduction, I want to improve. Let me take that kind of areas. Or I want to provide for leadership pipeline. Or I want to come out with the best practices of strategic management implemented. So take a theme which has got a total bearing on, like 80-20 principle. Some of the things which I take, which gives you maximum benefit. That's what I mean. This one, target a segmenting area. I'm not saying that don't do training everywhere. It may not be practically possible. So you consider, let's take one example, any company. So instead of talking theoretically, what do you mean by targeting training? Take any company. Sorry? Manufacturing, you need to take it. Your production, your supply chain, your marketing, your union trouble. 3-4 areas, right? So you will concentrate on which one is pressing for me to take this here. Union guys, or improving the quality part of it, or the marketing image is going down, customer centric. So probably, say for example, you decided this year to concentrate heavily on market, customer centric, customer conscious. So then that becomes my focus area for training for this year. I'm not saying that we will not do other areas, but I'm based on my own experience, practically not possible. Or if all of you know about life cycle of the business organization, starting, growing, decline, and death, and things like that. So which stage you are there, where the training input has to be given more. So there you do it. Then comes actual analysis. There could be an individual need, there could be an organizational need. Now take the same example. You decided some production, big manufacturing plant. Let's take automobile. Let's say Hyundai plant in Chennai somewhere else. Okay. Now you got into, madam, we stick to the own marketing or production? Which one? No. For this example, which one we'll take? We'll take the example of Hyundai automobile plant in somewhere. Now, where do you want, where we are going to segment? You want to segment in marketing, production, quality? All of you, marketing? Okay, marketing. So we'll take Hyundai's marketing. So we want to do marketing. Now, marketing means basically customer delight, customer scheme, branding, all those kind of things. So, which is concerned, who are the people who will come into that? The 2-3 groups will come. Marketing department itself will come. Production department will also come, because unless production department is aware of the customer needs and all, this guy will produce what he wants. So when you talk about marketing, there are 2 kinds of people who will come. Production department people will come, and the marketing department people will come. To some extent, finance people will also come. Why? Because he should appreciate to give the fund for investment schemes and things like that. So if that is a thing, okay, now this is the area. Now how will you go about conducting training and analysis? What is the task? It could be individual need, it could be a team need, it could be a task. Here we are concentrating more on the task. The task is how we can be more customer centric. If I have to be customer centric, what kind of on the job, off the job training I can do for marketing guys? Or what kind of on the job, off the job I can do for the production guys or the finance guys to make them more customer centric, to be aware of the customers. So the training need here is that do I move to concentrate on the task, or sometimes individual, the marketing guy or the finance guy. Finance guy is too good in controlling finance and things like that, but he doesn't have any respect for customers. So that's a clear-cut individual training need. That guy has to be given a clear-cut dose on customer. Are you getting my point? In the task itself, there could be a group task. What we tasked so far, a group training need. And the finance director or finance manager is too good in his own job. He thinks that he is doing extremely good job by controlling, cutting, not allowing any money for brand promotion or anything like that. He does it. So there is an individual training need of that finance guy. Though his intention, his job is doing very well, but there is a clear-cut perceived training need. This guy has to be given a heavy dose of customer delight, customer. So like this, you need to come up with the first target areas, then think out what are the individual training, maybe 10 people like that. Maybe the HR guys. HR guys more getting into process oriented, not into employer friendly. He creates all sorts of rules which can go against the employees, makes their life miserable. So his intention may be good. So the HR guy has to be given how he has to be employer friendly, employee friendly, what kind of solutions he will give. So there's an individual training for individual guy or for HR department itself. So like this, first of all, we need to have a training need analysis, which is your diagnosis. It could be done through the team or company want to expand. There are little people are there who are very highly skilled people. They have to be trained. They have to train few more people to take care of the new one. So expansion of the business or customer centric. In all those cases, who has to be trained? Individual, task, or group. That has to be identified first. That is what we call training need analysis. Now, how do you assess the training need? Could be your company's vision mission, or the complaint from the market, or complaint from the marketing department. My customer concentration is not coming from production. They are making the product which is not as per the customer. Whatever we say, they do whatever they feel like. Or the finance department doesn't give a scheme to the marketing guys. So all those things is taken care of. Now the methods could be your budget, could be your market report, could be your sales going down, Could be your production is getting affected. Maybe your labor law disputes are going up. Maybe your attrition is going up. These are the symptoms, like a fever symptom. These are the symptoms for your training. From the symptoms, you assess it whether what is can be solved through training. Like what we discussed the first slide theoretically. What is solvable training? First of all, get the symptoms. Symptom is market customers are not happy. Competitors are picking up. Or my segment is coming up. Their segment is going up. Production, the losses are more. Rejection is more. HR labor unrest is there. Attrition is too high. These are the symptoms, right? And then I'm not able to attract good people to come to the job. So these are the symptoms which will give me the methods. I assess, look for a training need in all the areas. Could be something, could be training need. Something could be other structural improvements. So if you undertake this training need analysis, it will be very interesting. At the same time, we cannot get lost. Any organization is a too big organization, right? That's what I started the word with a segmented target, which is very key, which is more important, which has to be done immediately. So this part is first part of your training process, as per the Sheffield is called diagnosis. This is diagnosis is nothing but training need analysis. Are we clear? Online student, are we clear? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
now
sir.
what is prescription? First part is over. You analyze training need. I'm going to concentrate on customer centric. I'm going to concentrate on quality improvement. I'm going to concentrate on IR situation to improve. I'm going to concentrate on a group. I'm going to concentrate on 10 individuals separately. I'm going to concentrate on 30 groups together. That Excel sheet you prepare. For an organization, if anybody wants to do a thorough job, it can come a beautiful dossier in Excel sheet. Okay. Now, once you prepare that one, now how are you going to get the training? Prescription part. When you talk about training, what all it comes? Now, what is the training? Whatever you want to do it, why you want to do it. At the end of the day, suppose you did attrition to be reduced. Now, it should, at the end of the day, result in, I'm going to conduct a training program to the middle level managers of production or marketing guy or HR guys, so that they have a proper process, handle people. By that, the attrition can come down. So we must have a training goals, and this training goal objective is to reduce the attrition or maximize the customer satisfaction or maximize the quality adoption, okay, or maximize the compliance. So you have an objective for the training objective. So you must have an objective, then start working at that one. Then, so I've already given you some of the areas. So what is this prescription? You have a training objective, you have a training goal on the theme, then start working. First, you already worked out a training need analysis. This also somewhat related. Then you start working on this level. Second, third, see now all in the four only will cover all your theoretical training part. What is execution? Third part is either you do it on the job, either you do off the job, or what is the delivery method you are going to give? Can we give these people what kind of training? Can you give only lectures? Can you give them case study? Can we show them a lot of audio visual? Can we show them some check their movie and then tell this guy how the teamwork works? Correct, na? So the training method, which are the training method, which could be like for the senior level people, leadership level kind of people, maybe the lecturing and discussion on a case study on a strategy, may work it out. Or a middle level people when they're fighting tooth and nail. I'll tell you one more nice example in my life. I was like not younger like you guys, little more older. At the age of 45, 50, I was asked to conduct a training program for 20 IPS officers with 20 years of experience. They were my target audience, like in front of me. And the topic was useless topic. Team management. The guy's IPS officer with 20 years of experience, you know what he doesn't know about team management. How will I go to training? I was thinking, why the hell? It's something high-fi topic, you can manage it, right? 20 years of IPS, they are all well-educated guys. Then I thought, so I thought it over. Now I'll go and ask these guys that how is team management? They will immediately react saying that, no, don't talk about team management, it's all nonsense and things like that. That's what exactly happened. I went and talked, sir, like the way I talked, your training is needed enough. Do you think team is important? No? They were all sitting relaxed. No? They were all already they were in a different day. This thing. They were maybe age-wise, experience-wise senior to me that time. And plus they could have seen that what these guys are going to come up with. They are all sitting, posture, everything. So what team management? It's all theoretical, no team. Come on, sir, you come, you say something, you listen. Okay, what I did now, I know this answer will come from this guy. I kept a small 3 minutes video clip on surgeon doing a surgery. Show to this guys. Now we tell me, whether you need a team or not. There is a surgery taking place. Surgeon is cutting. Anesthetician is standing. All other health staff members are there. Who is not needed here? Can anybody can be removed? Not needed for a team. Everybody is needed, right? Surgeon is equally needed. Anesthetician is equally needed. And everybody's cooperation is needed. Suppose the surgeon doesn't go with the anesthetician's advice. How much dosage I have already given? You must conclude and close the cutting and sealing this time. He says, no, I know surgeon. Carry on like that. No doubt, surgeon could be much senior, more competent, more salary. Then I could get those guys properly. Then I shown them. Tick, 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 tick. Every after 3 minutes, 3 to slide. What I'm trying to say is the teaching methodology, the training methodology. Having not shown that video clip to them, I was trying to say there are 10 tips to make a team effective. There are 20 strategies to make a team effective. So what is the training is on the job, coaching, training, lecturing, case study. A lot of audio visual seems to be the best training for middle level. Watch them, like in your team and all. You show them the pictures on Check to India. All those days, I don't know nowadays much more. All of you must have seen that Check to India, no? That Shahrukh Khan is very old. It depicts a lot of teamwork. So what kind of training method or delivery methods you're using for whom? Here again, we are talking about training effectiveness. Each factor matters. If everywhere you give only lecture, or where lecture is needed, you don't give a lecture. So you need lecture, you need audio visual, you need simulation, you need coaching, give a different job on rotation just to see him whether he's able to do so. The right kind of training method can also give. So if you do all those things, then you try and see at the end of the day has the training, but the training has to give the ROI, return on the investment. So this all possible once you do it, where on the job, where off the job, by internal people, lot many things internally I know very well, but you will not listen to me. You will not like to listen. The same thing, somebody comes from McKinsey or Harvard and comes and talks, no, you will listen. So the communication. So who delivers it? It is not a question of who delivers it, how effectively taken by you. That's important, right? I mean, I may be knowing, I may be better than the Harvard guy to deliver, but here some expert comes and gives. Then you listen. Suppose we say that you take a crocin or anything, or don't eat and go on with it. Probably you will not listen to that. Some nutrition expert comes, a well-known nutrition expert. What nutrition guys are not talking here? People talk about lot of health and all. Nothing but a simple, all of us we know that eat more, less carbohydrate, more fruits, more reasonable protein. This is fact and simple. But how much crores of rupees money taken in the name of health and nutrition? What is the basic? Basic is what? Eat less carbohydrate. Okay. Don't eat more. Do some exercise. Don't eat fat. Don't eat oil. Don't eat. All of us know, no? Eat more maximum fruits and vegetables. This is. But the kind of business going on, because that's what they will listen only from them. If you go and tell them simple, so simple, no, yeah. After evening, after 6 o'clock, don't eat. Take only 2 meals instead of 3 meals, which I started doing. You little late in the morning, 6 o'clock, so it gets into intermediate fasting and give me 1 meal knockout. So intake of calorie for my health and all, I can take 2000, but my intake comes down to 1500. So you're fit. Your all metabolism up, your sugar, everything is controlled. It's very simple common sense. But no, they will go to nutrition specialists. That is how training has to take place. So that's what I mean to say, who can deliver? Which methodology? Coaching. All those comes into your execution. So we started with training need analysis. We started with prescription. We started with execution. The last question is very important. As usual, I did everything for what? I did everything for what? Not improve you. Not improve your knowledge, not improve your skill, right? I want business, right? Now that means I have to evaluate the effectiveness of training. That's one thing you go through instead of I'm talking. Go through this author. Kirkpatrick. This guy is like Sheffield is known for training process. Kirkpatrick is known for training evaluation. All of you have your mobile now? Go through quickly. Kirkpatrick. The question could be, what is your training process? What is training and analysis? What is Sheffield system of training? What is on-the-job training? What is off-the-job training? What are the methods of training, coaching, all? And what is training evaluation? What is Kirkpatrick model of training evaluation? You have to evaluate. No? How will you evaluate normally? If I ask you. And there's a particular framework which is given by Kirkpatrick. There are 4 models he has given. Now, what does it mean? How are you going to use it? Anybody can attempt to explain this model? He has given a model to evaluate the training, which I am seeing it for the last 20 years. Even now, most of the multinationals are using it. I'm sick and tired of seeing this name and getting used to his name, Kirkpatrick model. But even today, and very well that 4-word captures, provided you understand what is that 4-word means. Reaction could be, I send you for a training program. You attend a program on strategic management. Immediately after the process or during the meeting, you are given a sheet. Evaluate your feedback. Reaction is the word they used it, basically getting immediate feedback after the program or during the program or after 1 month after the program. What did you learn? How did you learn? Whether the material was good, whether the delivery was good, do you think it's useful? You are getting your own opinion, your own perspectives, your own feedback. The participant, the trainees' feedback, perspectives, and opinion is taken through a structured format or an unstructured interview. That is called reaction. I mean, he's used the word reaction. We can modify it, getting your perspective, your opinion, your comments about the usefulness about the program to you, and what are you going to suggest in future for that kind of program. That we call it reaction, right? What is the next one? Learning. How will you do that learning? Yeah, I have given you already to work on an ERP. Okay, I have given you already to work on ERP on a compliance, statutory compliance to HR guys. I given you some market research and market analysis, some methods, Kirkpatrick, not Kirkpatrick, Kepner course problem solving techniques or market models I taught you. How you are able to use it and show it in the reflection. When the next meeting, when you are able to give marketing projection, like the way we use, every time that we try and use some of the models. Have you used the model? Whatever learning, balanced scorecard method, or Kepner course method, or market research method, or STP method. Or simply you come now, I want to increase the market, you give me 20 rupees discount, you give me 1+1 scheme. This is the kind of projection you will give. My competitors are giving 1+1, or they're sending to the abroad for 3 days after through a lottery coupon. This is the kind of marketing plan you will submit normally, colloquially. So if after the learning, are you able to come and give? This my product can get changed because of this one. Maybe the competitors, I'm going to adapt to that competitors this way. I'm going to use this model, this practices, this change. So the learning will get reflected. You are not talking in a very common sense kind of manner. You are talking with conviction, the frameworks, the model, the methodology, the best practices. Whether in marketing, whether it is in costing, there are many methods of doing costing. In the talent management procurement, there could be many methods, or supply chain. Not many things are coming. So after the training, the person's learning is getting exhibited in his planning, in his paperwork, in his corporate report. That's what a third behavior. Are you clear now? These 2 things. For each one, you create a lot of data. If the training department really wants to do a thorough professional job, training analysis itself will be a big sheet. Then after the analysis, you get to a brainstorming through top team and then shortlist. Okay, this all training will not touch now. Only we'll segment this kind of. Then we'll think about where, which on job, off the job. It can come into a nice big docile. Then start implementing it. Without, like how many people read that book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People? Most of you, right? No? Have you heard about that book? How many of you? 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey. All of you should read. Very old book. Very nice book. He's given 7 habits, which makes you effective. The first habit is that sharpen the saw before cutting the tree. Meaning, when you want to go and cut a tree, you have a knife, which is not sharpened. You take 5 hours to cut that. Rather, you spend 1 hour sharpen the knife. Probably you'll cut it in 1 hour. So one, time reduced it, and then effortless ease and fun you are doing it. That is a literary meaning. The professional meaning is that you do everything with a lot of thinking, professional thinking, models application, projection application. Then you don't get into the competition. Competition becomes irrelevant if you think. There's one more book called Blue Ocean Strategy. Right now, right? Have you heard about that book, Blue Ocean Strategy? That book talks about how can you make competition irrelevant. If I try to copy the same thing, he has given 3 cameras, I'll give 4 cameras. That is not a strategy. Can I invent something new? So that I'll question that. Why do I put all I give camera? Maybe I create a separate segment. People like me, I'm happy with a small camera for the purpose of it. People like you guys, you want a sophisticated camera. Have anybody thought in that line? So if I project according, suppose I want, maybe that I want some other applications more. Maybe I want more of the MS kind of tools or meeting tools and things like that. So the marketing, the moment you give that kind of people learning, all those things will come. Now we were talking about the behavior. The behavior, how do you assess? Lot of complaints. Finance guy throwing the paper of marketing guy. Right? All the time. Marketing guy comes and cries. This guy doesn't understand what's happening in the market. He's sitting in the corporate office, right? Last bench, he's laughing, right? Correct? Happens or not? He will come and say that he doesn't know what's happening in the field. Yeah, he's sitting in an air-conditioned room. He says it's not possible. Even yesterday, last Sunday, I got irritated with one of my finance guy. He said we are sitting in a restaurant in Thailand, Phuket and Pattaya and all this. This guy in the meeting, he was my CFO. Sir, your contribution procurement cost should not be more than 30% of all this. It really, I just waited for long. That guy should have answered it. He has not answered it. I have to answer it. So that is normal situation, direction. It's okay. Maybe normally, if the things are done very well in a restaurant, that your 30% cost should, within 30% cost only, you should be your procurement cost and salary. Today, there is, because of Russian war, there is no tourist coming. That where can you do that? And the CFO is asking that kind of question. And what kind of impact can have that guy? Either that can get ignored, he's a foolish talker. Right? Or he can get into totally disengaged it. What this guy doesn't, I'm struggling here. There are no people to come and eat, no staff. I'm doing already multiple jobs. The worst time. You got it. So which means this behavior, this guy should, what you are talking is sensible, but not at this situation. Correct. So behavior, like a lot of, I can tell you, even HR guys, somebody in the factory, some minor issues, the guy will come and fire at HR guy. With quite a, you're not doing like his life, it's all those kind of things. This HR guy, have you heard about transaction analysis theory, TA? What is TA? Transactional analysis theory. Come on, go through. All of you go through TA, which will help you personally, professionally. TA, transactional analysis. Can you go through mobile? It's a very good training, personally and professionally. Correct. All online student are surfing it. Transactional analysis theory, TA theory, parent, child, and
yes, sir.
Yeah. Can anybody explain what does it mean? Why did I go that? I said one HR guy some employee comes and shouts at him, HR guy goes to charge at him. He misbehaved with me. Correct, the way like said the hammer guy. Most of the HR guys, some unskilled worker from the factory got tension or something. Come to the time of his HR guy. He misbehaves apparently. The HR guy wants to charge at him and punish him. But whereas if you go through this theory, transactional theory, which will help you in life also, it's called, what is that? Child, parent, adult. What does it mean? How it helps you tell me. At the end, probably you can carry home this one. Let's take the same example. HR guy, big HR manager sitting. One fitter comes and talks to him. That it's not that nothing is working inside, you are sweating, you guys are useless, this and that, some language uses. Okay. Now what the HR guy should do? Charge it in. That's what they do most of the time. Because you misbehaved with me. Correct. What this theory says, all of us go through three kind of ego. All of us, you or me, anytime, every time. What is a child ego? Child is reacts, shouts, crays, misbehaves. Okay. What is an adult ego? Little balanced. You know that you don't get immediately carried away with that kind of. Suppose this guy, when this HR guy, fitter has behaved in a child ego. When he cried, misbehaved, apparently abusing, he was not internally doing. That moment, that guy was going through a child ego. He was provoked. What the HR guy should do? To charge it, he is also responding with a child ego. He reacted and that guy is reacting. Getting my point? He should be mature. Come on, guy, understand. Better, pani pilo, have a water. Tell me, understand. You know, you're getting my point. Don't take it personally. If otherwise you are doing the same child ego of what he's doing, you are also doing. Take it in a mature manner, proactive manner. Come on, sit down and do all this. The moment HR does that way, then he behaves in adult way. The arrow comes from you in a child way to me. Either I can also send a child arrow, or I can send an adult arrow. Are you getting my point? So the transactional theory is done extensively in US and all. If you see the net through, a lot of family members go through, the spouses go through, because after going through this transactional theory, a lot of divorce letters come. Because if somebody comes with a child ego, the other person should be an adult, right? It doesn't make sense or not. And what is then parent? Parent is all the time giving gyan. Don't do this thing, like all those kind of things. Like one of my friends, he's a very good colleague. He's got last month I met him. He lived in US and all. I praised that your two sons are doing well. Two sons were there and wife was saying that. They're giving a smiley look at me. And I said, what happens, man? Something is fishy. Your family looking at his colleague. Then the two get set. The wife also could not come to say, sir, he does all the time gyan. He tries to give every time, do this thing, don't do that kind of thing. We don't want that kind of do's and don'ts. Let him keep his own perspectives. We are all matured people. Allow us also to work that in our own style. So too much of a parent giving unnecessarily also creates problems. This exactly I've seen 15 days back in some of my close friends. And they are doing very good, lovely, happy family. All of them doing very well. My friend is doing well. Wife also took a premature retirement. Two kids are, one guy did IIM Ahmedabad, one guy is completing his this P-Tech from Pitch Pilani or somewhere else. Nice family. I could see that vibration. Since we are all close friends, they started opening. Tell your friend not to give us every time do's and do nots. At times he gives it, we are okay. But every time he said, we are going to write him off. So if you know this transaction analysis theory, the factory also, or in the family also, when the child comes, you don't be a child, you be an adult. And don't try to give everywhere your parent kind of situation. So I hope you understood. If you're interested, go through. So now the behavioral means, when I said it, has the behavior of that HR improved it now, after going through sensitivity training or TA theory. Are the finance guys, are they able to better appreciate the marketing guy's contention? Don't sanction it, but at least give the guy a good listening, right? Without even listening, oh, marketing guys will come to only increase expenses here. They want this scheme, that scheme. Profitability goes for a task. He will not even see from one angle. Let me see from their perspective. Something may be great. Something good. So has his behavior changed after going through this interpersonal skill training? Is he willing to listen respectfully with empathy? So that you can see from the, for example, HR guy, for example, from the marketing, finance guy, and for example, marketing. Customer will always be obnoxious. Okay, customer wants everything, anything, which may not be possible. Can you be nasty to customer? He writes all sorts of language, sometimes writing a mail. How will you do it? Will you ignore the mail? Will you reply it? Here comes, there's a question of direct communication, indirect communication. How will you indirectly, politely? You will not be able to give what he wants. But how do you handle it? So this all comes under your behavior part of it. Has the behavior of marketing guy in dealing with customer changed? Has the behavior of finance manager in dealing with his internal team member changed? Has the HR guy talking purely as a custodian, champion of employee, not like a boss or controller of employee? He behaves like a boss or controller. The moment you behave like a mentee or a coach or a champion or custodian of employee, your whole approach will change, right? If you get into this paradigm, your approach. If you get into that, I'm the boss, I'm HR, I'm a controller, the whole thing. So how the behavior changed because of your training. See, this 4 model effectively. The last one is the result. Okay, sir, this all okay. What I call is a lagging indicator and leading indicator. This is all lagging indicator, which should lead into leading indicator of more profit, less rejection, less attrition, more customer response. That is the end cake, na? Correct. That I call it leading indicator. Probably all this lagging indicator will help me to get that one. The same plan, same productivity has it improved. Same rejection rate has it come down. As a quality parameter improved a lot. As a customer response has been maximum. These are the end result. Okay, so does the result speak after all the training? That's the leading indicator through the link. So if we go, you think that this 4 model takes care of effectively or much more scope left out in evaluating the training? To me, it looks like very comprehensive. But in case you have some idea, please let me know so that we can add to the theory. When you conduct a training evaluation, if this 4 model is effectively, properly utilized, you capture on reaction point, you capture on behavior point, you capture on the learning point, you correlate with the, like if you go to the doctor again, when they take a lot of tests, it's clinical, always there will be a down line. This has to be read along with the other results. So all this thing, if it is read along with the results, that is your output, then it says the training is effective. So come back, what is that we picked up today? There's a training process. That it's better to go with a process like training need Sheffield process because it's very short, concise, sweet. Diagnosis, training need analysis, training need prescription, conduction, evaluation. Otherwise, you call it diagnosis, prescription, implementation, evaluation. And there are hundreds of methods of training need analysis. You segment your training activities. You concentrate on what is it output for the training first, not that giving training without an output. I will give a lecture on engagement, customer satisfaction, motivation, all that, without anything. Do I have that objective? With that objective, I'm trying to give through the lecture or give through rotation or giving through the thing, that's okay. Without any objective do, then that kind of training is not a professional kind of training. Then at the end of the day, finally, how will I going to ensure or tell people or bosses, I'm the training director, I done my job, I delivered it, please measure me. Rather than running away from the job, that what I'm doing, I should come back. I delivered. I'm very proud. My training department has delivered it. These are the analysis. This is how I done it. This is the effectiveness. You guys don't have to say, I am telling you measurement. It is not that I have to, I'm running away, hiding myself. I want you, I delivered it. This is how I delivered it. Please measure it. That is a language which our guys, the training department guys should speak. When they speak that language, they'll get respect. If they don't do that, the top management, first of all, they may ignore it. Okay, this is also one of the activity my office should go through. But will that chairman or MD or CEO will listen to you carefully? But the moment he knows it's going to touch his top line and bottom line, he will listen to you. How my training is going to help in getting top line, bottom line, which if you go through a systematic planning, it probably will definitely be. It will improve your bottom line, it will reduce the nuisances like attrition and things like that. All those nuisances could also be reduced. So when we started the class, training is needed. Yes, training is pakka needed. It can really a big boom to the organization, provided it is taken in a professional, scientific, consistent manner, not an ad hoc manner. Done? Any questions? Have we covered both topics? Now, what is left out in your HR? What is left out? Tell me now. 4 or 5 models you covered. What is left out? Come on, guys, tell me. Huh? Very good, very important is left out. Performance management, which is mostly not fully, exploited to take the benefit. Rather, it is negatively used. Most of the places, PMS means it's a postmortem. It's not a motivating tool. It is appraisal. It is not a performance management. So that's one we like to do. 2, in India, first time after 1947, they passed 44 labor acts. With this conviction, it's a socialist economy. Businessmen are corrupted. They're exploiting the employees. They need to be regulated. In that philosophy, there were 44 acts. Minimum wage act, bonus act, this and that, all this. First time in India, last year, they removed all those 44 acts. They come up with 4 labor codes to balance employee interest and employer interest. That lecture also I want to cover. Though it may not come in your syllabus, but you guys should know that. 1, what was that paradigm? 44 lakhs. Now how it shifted to 4, and what is the implication? And how this 4 compares with the international laws. They may have different names. How is it synchronizing or diverse? These 2 parts I wanted to deliver to you guys, provided you guys complete your presentation. Otherwise, your time will go only in your presentations. So presentations, let's make it brief and sweet. Like I said, only 1, 5, 6 slides, not more than 10 minutes. Done. It makes sense, right? Or you can also continue 2 classes, 3 classes, only presentation. Then my ambitious plan of giving you more information will not take place. If I complete all this 2, the last one I want to attempt is the best practices, best employer, competency mapping, Gallup survey of employee engagement. There could be some 10, 15 contemporary international HR practices. That I kept it as last. So to how you people, how all of us, how we manage our time management. If you see that today, and thanks to all of you guys, this normally could have taken 2, 3 sections, but we have covered 2, 3 models in 1, 3 of us. It's a good achievement by you and by me. I don't know who gets more marks, you or me. Who gets more marks, yeah? No, you get it. Normally it would have taken more time. Recruitment itself goes on, and then we made it concise. So let us keep our concise time management approach. You complete your presentation. So I like to give 2 at least, preferably 3. Anything else you want? Let me also. Done? Okay, guys. You have class again? Good. I don't have a class. All this PPT, I'll upload it today itself, okay? Well, the previous class and this class also, I don't think I uploaded.
Yeah, sir. There is no PPT.
I'll upload it. Today itself, I'll upload it.
Okay. Previous classes also, sir.
Previous also. All the PPTs will get it done.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Hello.